We're going live.
We're about to just do it.
We'll do it live.
We're doing it live. And we're live!
Yay!
Hey!
Cool. Sounds
Hi,
good.
everybody.
Hello, everyone. We are currently on the Warhammer community page, waiting for them to publish the points.
Everybody's here waiting. All of us hitting the refresh button repeatedly.
Yep.
Our breath is bated.
We don't have points, Christopher.
No. Well, not all of us have points, but at this point I'm just going to wait. There's
Okay,
no point.
most of us don't have points.
That's fair. Cool. So I'm actually curious on the chat. What do you think are going to be the units you're most interested in seeing the points for? Just to give us an idea of where we want to go.
My answer, I have a list. It's 1 through 10. Spots 1 through 9 of that are taken up by Nurglings.
You'll be happy about the Nurgle.
The 14 o'clock article was AOS. We may have been premature.
No, it should have been now. It should have been 9 p.m. EST.
Well, that's our current time
9
zone,
a.m.
so
EST, you mean? It better not be 9 p.m. EST.
9 p.m. This is going to be a long cope stream.
Yeah.
If it's 9 p.m.
Stream.
We're going to be here for a minute, boys. Alrighty, I'm excited though. Okay, so preemptive guessing on my end. I think factions that have bad data sheets, or not bad data sheets, but weaker data sheets, but will still be strong. Ones I'm interested in. I think Death Guard could go that way. They only need a couple of units to have good points. I think that could be one. I think Tau have a lot of units, and they only ever have needed really one of them to be good. So that could be another one that could be impressive. With like even if they just sink one spicy pointed unit, like even if it's just a ghost keel or something.
Yeah, just like one randomly really cheap unit.
Yeah, and they have a lot of data sheets, so it's possible.
They could very easily do it. I'm also thinking maybe... Honestly, like, if Necrons just get randomly cheap points, they're really good.
Oh, their preview is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the index. So much good stuff in there. So much great synergy. So many strong data sheets.
Well, their vehicles look great to me, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think, like, literally, every Necron list looks viable. The big units, kind of the warrior type builds, the infantry type builds. You can go character heavy. I think, just normal vehicle heavy. Beautiful index. But again, it always comes down to points.
Also,
this could be the egg on my
in here. Might be an hour.
This could be the might be an hour, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll double check and see if there's been an update on the release time.
Yeah.
We'll see. This could be an egg on my face moment, but with Necron, I don't know how well I rate these horde style.
I think we lost Walls for a sec.
Walls has vanished.
They're always very meta.
Things are super turbo, mega, ultra deadly. Like
also, Kyle, they did actually say that the points are coming tomorrow. So
yeah, and the article
they did not say when.
Could be any time.
Double check.
Could be any time. Could be 5 minutes.
Maybe the points came out yesterday, and we're just too slow to figure it out.
Maybe.
That's true.
So yeah,
what if this unit gets shot by something that kills it? Is very broadly applicable to the point that I don't think it's a Necron warrior specific issue.
No, but like when I look at Bellacore, you just can't shoot him.
Oh my god, those mechanics. There's way too many of those mechanics. I think you both agree.
What if your faction ability was just you can't shoot me unless I'm within 12?
Yeah.
That seems good.
Oh, Tau do that so abusively. Ghost Keels being lone operative is just absurd to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
Also, I guess because we got a moment before we get into big points time, I'm having harder time hearing Mike than I am you, Kit. So we maybe need to equalize some audio level on the mic.
How does this sound? Is this better?
It's a bit better, yeah.
A little bit.
It's a bit more clear.
Sounds like not good enough.
I mean, it's not that you're quiet, it's just that you're not, like, crystal clear. It's just muffled.
You're talking to us. Yeah, you're talking to us from your side of the warp or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah, this is Mike Pestilence coming to you live from inside the Impossible Fortress.
Sounds about right, honestly.
Speaking of the Impossible Fortress, the chaos. We got all the demon stuff. How are we feeling about the God Order right now in terms of strength, without looking at any points?
Also, yeah, the chat is saying that you sound muffled, Mike.
Sound muffled? I'm literally using the snowball microphone. I paid money for it. It's not free with the computer. I went to work. I got money for work. I gave this money away. I received this microphone in exchange, and it's still muffled.
Mike, I don't think it's using that microphone. I don't think it's using that microphone because I'm using the same microphone that you're talking about. I don't think it's actually using that one. I think it's using some other one.
Cool.
Discord sometimes does that.
I'll bounce me back.
Jason, we will definitely try to keep you going.
Yeah. Little did he know that he actually sounded crystal clear, and we were just messing with him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Also, regarding demons, I will say I agree. Shalaxi looks incredible right now. Just like on a raw datasheet level, that is one of the best anti-tank units I have ever seen.
I just realized we had a chat that I should look at because I was really confused when you brought up Shalax. Like, I was pleasantly surprised that you brought up Shalaxi, but I didn't know
sometimes you just, sometimes you just have to bring up Shalaxi walls. It's just how it goes.
I gotta get my Shalaxi as my muscle mommy t-shirt going.
If that happens, then I will find a way to get your video in the stream.
I have a general interest in how Slaanesh is pointed because Slaanesh has some of the more interesting units, but I'm not sure Slaanesh will be the strongest just off the data sheets because they need good points too, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's
Khorne actually looks really strong, in my opinion.
Yeah, Khorne looks really good. Nurgle looks pretty good too. I think if I were ordering them right now, I'd probably say like Khorne, Nurgle, Slaanesh, Tzeentch. I feel like Tzeentch got the short end of the stick where it feels like Tzeentch has a lot of do-nothing units, with the exception of the like the Changeling and the Lord of Change and a few.
I mean, the Changeling doesn't do much, but it also just like doesn't die. So, same thing. Right.
And if you have the Changeling and he's like a lower point cost or something, like he could be a real menace. So, mixed demons is probably going to be pretty good though, based on what I've seen. And I mean, Be'lakor feels like just like a no-brainer inclusion.
Oh, Be'lakor is just an auto-include. Like, I think Khorne is relying like almost entirely on the Rentmaster, by the way, because good lord, that is just such a good data sheet.
Testing. Are we good now?
Yeah, it's better.
You're still somewhat muffled.
What if I just put the microphone into my mouth and just like speak from inside my mouth? Would that work?
Possibly.
That would make it either much better or much worse. Really, it could go either way.
That's fair.
Yeah, it sounds.
Chat's saying it's the same.
It's this exact same.
Go. Okay.
I'm gonna sidebar with Mike really quick and see if we can.
Yeah. How about testing?
Oh wow,
that
was way louder, but it worked better.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's turn my volume back down a bit, I guess, to compensate, and we're good to go.
Oh wow, that sounds crystal clear. Weird.
Oh yeah, that's much better. Hold up.
Also, big thank you to everyone in the chat for giving us feedback on the volume and stuff. Again, we're waiting for points. We want to make sure everything is ready to go. So once these points drop, we give you all of the best information as clearly as possible.
Yeah.
I'm
no,
spamming
chat
some
literally
loud
went,
mic.
wow, that's so clear.
Yeah. Cool. That's good. Appreciate you, Chief. Appreciate you, my doc. Appreciate you, Jason D. Appreciate you, Mr. X, the legendary JJ, Kyle, Christopher. Wow.
Mhm.
Cool. Appreciate the feedback, everyone. And appreciate you,
Ooh,
Ian,
it's so
too.
smooth. So
August,
smooth.
It is.
all
It
of
is.
all these beautiful people spending their time with us today. Cool. So where were we in the conversation?
We were talking about demons a little bit. I wanted to know what your preface with imagining you don't have points, right? where are our data sheets at right now? Because I would make the argument that the order based on data sheets is like maybe Nurgle, Khorne, or Khorne Nurgle, and then Slaanesh, and then Tzeentch. Slaanesh looks really good and fun.
Honestly, I don't see Nurgle. I see Tzeentch. Tzeentch looks really good to me. I like Tzeentch a lot.
Wallace, no joke, I would literally go in the exact opposite order of you. Probably, Slaanesh and Tzeentch, and then Nurgle and Khorne.
Really?
So I will say, before we get into the discussion of this, I just have to say, what a great index that three great players can get together and have like very genuine debate and have complete opposite opinions on the power level.
What a pleasant way of saying, what a great index that it can just trick Wallace into being wrong.
Not the first time, not the last time.
Oh man, I think I maybe just like Khorne and Nurgle. Who knows?
Also appreciate you, Zolan. Appreciate you, Matt in the chat.
I'm gonna pull up the Demons Index so that people can see what we're talking about.
Oh man, Zolan
have it pulled up.
Zolan asked us what we think of Votann.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Cool. Votann is definitely one of the armies of all time in 10th edition.
Votann is an army.
The top 25 index.
Yep.
I don't know what GW. I mean, like GW is maybe still afraid of their release book, and they're like they must pay. I don't know, man. I'm hoping that and I was talking about this before we even did the stream, I think. But I hope they make Pioneers free. I hope the points are just here, free Pioneers.
Pioneers are just
happens. If that happens and Votann is a pseudo horde army, I think they can do it. I'm just really worried about them.
just Votann is just you get a 2,000 point army and then you get 15 Pioneers for free.
Yeah, that would
That's
be
the first balanced
data
data slate.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry, buddy.
Or hear me out on this. Every Votann army can take 500 points of free Votann allies, just to let them sneak in a little bit extra, just to balance and measure.
Well, yeah. What if the Votann book was just them rolling it into Space Marines and says use them as Space Marine proxies? That's fine.
Yeah. Or here, the ultimate monkey's paw. Votann are allowed to take 500 points of free allies, but it has to be AdMech.
Bump that up to 1,000 points, and you might have something reasonable.
AdMech have a couple of data sheets that, if they're cheap enough, could be good, like the Doom Crawler and.
Without going into details, no, they are not cheap enough.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know that, Mike. You can use your cursed knowledge all you will. Maybe
you knew deep down they were not going to be cheap enough. Look at that index.
No.
Do you imagine any player was put into the points or put into anything about it? I mean, honestly,
look, if Skitarii are 70 points a mob, 70 points for 10, then they're fine.
If their plane is 10 points.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a universe in which they're good.
Yep. There's a universe in which they're good. It's not this universe, but there is a universe.
Yeah.
I'm a dumb idiot who's really uninformed on 10th and haven't spent as much time reading it as you little guys. Would you tell me how you feel about CSM? Because I don't know how I feel about CSM. I think they're good. Probably.
Quickly address the chat. Greg would try to hit a refresh harder. Brilliant idea. But yes, I've been trying to hit a refresh really hard all morning. Votann becoming a Militarum detachment from Chief. Honestly, I don't hate that. I think GW just doesn't have a vision for them. Yeah, definitely said violence, Ellen.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, honestly, it's okay, sure, you can make Votann a Militarum detachment, and then maybe Guard doesn't have to spam indirect, which would be nice.
Okay, so actually, I will say, I'm really glad, Wallace, you brought up CSM because I do think literally every single index released so far, that's probably the one that has the most strength without making everyone blow up online. Like it's a really well written index.
No, CSM just looks really strong. Like
yeah, they're strong, but they're interesting. It's not like they just spam one like toxic mechanic. It's just a really well done index with a lot of cool mechanics that are fun to play on the table.
I mean, the marks are just really good.
So good. So good.
Also, there's this strat here. Where are you? The undivided thing.
Isn't like
this one.
Most
Profane Zeal. Just 1 CP reroll all hits and wounds.
It's a strat for gamers by gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to be undivided.
Yeah, but I mean, you're undivided because of this. Counterpoint.
Yeah, but even a third another point. What unit would you want full hit rerolls on the most, and which ones would you want marks on? Which ones want marks? Which one wants not marks?
I mean,
because marks seem good marks. Too. I know, but I'm asking, like, if your plan is I want to be undivided just to use the strat, and I mean, like, undivided still is cool. I mean, reroll one, good.
For sure. I mean, I just personally, I'm just taking like Forge Fiend, undivided, slam that stratagem button.
Yes. So I think the trick for CSM players,
devastating wounds, rip everyone apart.
Sure. I think the trick is everyone in their head is going to have like, a million units in their army that all want Profane Zeal. But in practice, CP is super tight. And obviously you can't use this stratagem twice at the same time. True. So I think there's going to have to be a lot of planning involved. Already in my lists, I've actually been cutting down some undivided units to get more units with better passives. I think the Nurgle passive, for example, is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. So I will say,
it's a tough balance to strike.
Yeah. I think that you're going to see... I think undivided is the best, but I also agree with you. I think that what you're probably going to see is something like 1 to 3 generally good undivided units, and then those will just get slammed, and those will be like the best unit in your list is undivided and gets the rerolls.
Yes, with one big exception is possessed. Because I think possessed bricks are going to be, if not the best, one of the best units in every list. But in my game, unless they're starting a Land Raider, which is a bit of a meme, but it's also actually good now. Slanesh possessed on the board because you get like 2/3
damage. I want to read Vashtor.
You get down from like 30 mortal wounds to like 20 mortal wounds, and then your threat range is like much larger.
I wish you could give undivided to a Corn Lord of Schools. That would be really funny.
Well, but your Corn Lord Skulls can fight on death on a 3-up, which is also hilarious.
Which is also really funny. So, fair.
Yeah, I really do like Vashtor.
My headphones are broken. One sec. No, actually, it's not my headphones are broken. It's just that those two have gone silent. Okay, what's going on? Mike. Wallace. Are you there? You vanished. The stream gone. Stream's gone. Okay, regarding CSM strong. Okay, we may be back here. Are we back? No, we're not. I'm back! Yeah, this is apparently what happens when you bad talk Votan. Votan reaches through and rips out your audio. Mm-hmm. So I like the Nids Discord. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good overall. Now, there was a lot of dooming over the past few days. Chicken dinners. We will give you the points as soon as we have them. Yes. Well, there's a lot of Chaos people here, but there's also a lot of Nids Discord people here because I got them over from the Nid server. The more the merrier. Yeah, what's up? I will give it to you. There you go. Okay, yeah, so demons. And we're back. Alright, so demons. I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand Nurgle. Except for Forp Feel No Pain. Forp Feel No Pain Chad is like Forp Feel No Pain Chad. But okay, Nurgle. Well, that's just really strong, but I don't know what else you're supposed to do with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. No, it's really funny. Yeah, exactly. It's just really good. No, it's 20 more wounds. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Oh, there might be an issue. Uh-oh. Is Discord capture? Uh-oh. One sec. Yeah, no, it makes me sound like I'm schizophrenic, which is fair. Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of funny. Okay, so bum bum bum. Okay, how about that?
How about that?
Oh, there we go.
Testing.
You guys are there.
I'm back, and we're so back.
Beautiful.
Y'all are back.
It might still be schizophrenic, but
I might be
Yeah, we're just-
schizophrenic, but there are voices.
yeah.
Do you hear
Can
the
you
voices too?
Yeah. I love that we just did that at the exact same time.
Yeah, buddy.
Wow. I
You
love
didn't-
that.
And the nice thing is people didn't have to hear my embarrassing cope about Vashtor, so that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the Great Unclean One. We were talking about giving the Great Unclean One 4-up Feel No Pain. Seems pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm.
And how that gives him a absurd amount of extra survivability.
Yes.
I do like, and it keeps being this way. I do really, really like the Bile Sword plus Plague Flail combo.
Yes.
Feels super good. That's how I built mine.
Yep. Also, by the way, Jack saying you guys are back just in time to still not have the points. Mean, but also true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack. So I've actually just called up James' workshop right now. I texted him personally asking for points. So hopefully.
And what did he say?
Soon,
points?
He said LMAO AdMech. It was harsh but true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I can't decide whether I like Plague Fill or Bioblade better, honestly. I think they're both strong.
Yeah, but the more damage output you put on a 4-up Feel No Pain brick, the better your life is.
Okay,
True.
So guys, here's a total troll job, by the way. The Doomsday Bell, it says you can select one friendly Plague Bearers unit in bold as a faction, or as just a keyword, which Plague Drones have. So it makes you think the intent is to be able to revive Plague Drones, and then you go over. And the second usage of Plague Bearer is not bolded, so it's the actual unit name. So you can only revive Plague Bearers. I remember reading the first time, and I had such a hit of dopamine when I saw that bolded Plague Bearers, and I was like, "Oh, we're back, baby! Rising Plague Drones, we're gonna live our best lives."
I thought it raised Plague Drones.
They just said no.
Yeah, I'm just like that. But now there's literally zero reason to have bolded the first keyword.
So let's just go datasheet by datasheet with Nurgle, and I'm going to get one thing datasheet on my first read through, and then by the end of it, I'm not going to like it as much. Okay. So that's how we'll do it.
Great and Cleveland, great change. Permanent 4-up invulns, no longer 5-up in melee.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Very vulnerable. Awesome change.
Rodigus I like. Because just like straight up, start of the fight phase, choose a unit within 18 invisible, +1 damage.
Cool. Well, here, can you scroll down to his page? Because I think that's still showing.
No, it's showing me Roddy.
No, it's showing Roddy.
Oh, okay. I'm just now realizing that the YouTube.
If you're looking at the stream, it has a slight delay.
That's how life works. Cool. The more I finally learned something today. No, Roddy, that's awesome. It's a bit of a troll job that his ability is is like a strictly worse version of the Khorne one, but that's also okay.
They also turbo nerfed Streams of Brackish Filth, which did not deserve that.
Devastating wounds.
Yeah, ignores cover. It's
good.
But
they also buffed Gnarl Rod.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarl.
Like the Gnarl Rod truly is gnarly now. Also, apparently they're saying Art of War is going live in 90 minutes with the points, and it's possible they're just doing it an hour afterwards, so they can get things going. That's definitely not copium.
I hope that the points actually do drop before that hour, but like when they drop, we can't get onto the website because of all the other people on the website.
That's very possible.
Show me the Plague Drone.
Plague Drone?
There might have been a change to when things were going to release. Let me see.
Oh no! I've been gamered.
Oh yeah, give me those Nurglings. Beautiful.
Here's those Plague Drones for you, Wallace.
10-inch move, 5 wounds, objective control 2. You gotta love them.
Toughness 8.
Yeah, they have an actual rule for Death's Heads, which is cool. You've never seen that before.
Yeah, actually, no, that's actually just like straight up a good rule that I like.
Yep. Yeah, and they're blast. They're actually pretty good at dealing with like Genestealer culture occurring models.
Yes, and blast got just straight better. So nice.
And they don't make me have to weirdly choose between the proboscis and the foul mouth parts. To be a bloat fly on the wall of a conversation which somebody tells you that your Plague Drones aren't WYSIWYG.
Oh man.
Let's go up to Plague Bearers. I want to see Plague Bearers.
Plague Bear, I mean, you can probably guess what Plague Bearers do.
I'm not going to.
I will say plague drones, by the way. I mean, I love that T8 breakpoint. I feel there's a lot of the best melee these days is T8. So now
It's
they're
true.
really only vulnerable to shooting. I do
Here
wish
we
they
go.
still had that 5 up.
Also,
5 up
again,
symbol, but
we are waiting
whatever.
for points just like all of you guys.
Yeah.
So they will come eventually.
I have the points right here. I'm writing them in crayon. I'm putting plague bearers at 1 point each. And
hold up. So I'm just
wait, points are out.
I just saw a PDF with the points. Hold up. Points are out.
Wait, points are out. Points. Where are they?
Points.
1 sec. Points somewhere.
Okay, so I have a link
Is it
to
here?
a PDF.
No. There's a link to a PDF in a Discord. Yeah, I saw that. Hold up.
Public, I think we can talk about it.
If it's yes. That or someone messed up largely.
Yeah. That or it's all made up, which is funny.
Okay, here we go. Warhammer community. Points PDF.
Okay. I'm gonna add everyone in the Discord. First time.
Add everyone in the Discord. Do it, Mike.
Yeah. Alright, I'm ready to use.
Oh, we got points. Oh, we got points.
Up to the points from 7th edition.
That would be such a troll. Yes, this is Minotaur Field Manual version 1.0.
Okay,
I think we're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not here to say whether.
For the record, I will say, if this is the points,
and just and see if something changes. It is what it is.
Also, if this is the points for a different version, then we have been trolled and props. But no, this looks correct. Yeah.
Again, I cannot officially confirm or deny any of these points. Let's go ahead and assume they're true. And again, if something changes, at 4,
this looks correct because they have the weird like X models is X points thing. That's something that I heard about, and that looks correct.
Okay, I don't remember how that ends up working out. So yeah, let's just go forward with this and just use it and just talk.
I'm assuming these points are correct.
Yeah.
For the chat.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. So happy to be here with all of you. This is awesome.
Let me get the points in the chat.
That if we go alphabetically, I have to talk about custodes.
Points.
We're not starting with custodes. We're not
starting with
custodes. Come on, let's move on here.
All right, where are we going first? Chaos Demons.
No, so many.
Space Marines. I have to go to Chaos Space Marines, please. Kit, with everything our friendship was worth. Please go to Chaos Space Marines right now.
Here you go, buddy.
5-point Noise Marines. Drop what you're doing. Remember where you are right now. When you first heard, there are 85-point Noise Marines.
What
the hell? How does this happen?
Oh, what?
Again, I don't remember if these points are like accurate or not. I'm just going off the
go to the profile.
Noise Marines, hold up. What? No, that's not right.
You can bring 6 units of Noise Marines with free war gear for 500-ish points. What the? Okay, I'm sorry.
Where are Noise Marines? Noise Marines. Okay.
Move on.
They're right here. I have their data sheet here. Okay, what are we looking at?
This is Monopoly money points. I don't believe these aren't real points. There's no way these are real points.
Don't forget, y'all. If you bring Lucius as the warlord,
then these are battle line.
Take up 6.
Yeah.
6. For a quarter of your army, you have 6 units of Noise Marines with full war gear. A quarter of your army.
Oh my god.
Warlord.
So that is okay. We're getting a Power Fist. We get so 1 Power Fist on the Noise Champion, and then he also gets a Doom Siren, and then we get a Blastmaster, which is really good. Wait, this is really good.
Very, very good. Again, also if you bring 6 units, you're forcing battle shock all over. So you're stopping things like you're getting interrupts or fight first or whatever from different strats. You're stopping -1 damage. There's all -1 damage in other strats. You're turning those off. This is awesome. Chris, in terms of 5-mans or 10-mans, great question in the chat. I think you bring a 10-man Lucius and a bunch of 5-mans.
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of 5-mans. What's a Lucius give them?
Lucius gives them fights first. So I think the 10-man just from
fights first. Okay, that's just generally
it's actually
good.
Really difficult for random things to fight. Again, fights first being so powerful in 10. A 10-man with Lucius and then 5-mans is how
I'm looking. I'm looking forward to the inevitable 2 melee armies with both have fights first, just locked in a standoff, not charging each other.
and I'm looking forward to running 85-point Noise Marines. All right,
Mike, why would you do this to the people? Why would you lie to them and tell them 85 points? Come on, there's no way. There's just no way.
Troll job.
It's made up. Well, hold on. How much are legionaries? 100? Why are they cheaper? Why are they cheaper than legionaries? What's happening?
Legionaries are 15 points.
Okay, guys. So we just talk about other stuff because I agree we could talk about this all day. Other CSM greatest hits, by the way. I think Obliterators getting a big blow up and then going down in points to 80, massive. Obliterators are to be a mainstay in your
list. That's not bad. That's really good.
Yeah, but the Possessed, no points changed, and they just got
Abaddon super cheap.
Abaddon 280, that's spicy. Wait, Abaddon 280 is really fucking good. Wait, hold up.
Yeah, buddy.
Also,
Abaddon is like cracked. Wait, that's cracked.
At 115. Chosen at 115 is massive because they just got the exact same data sheet. They're still not super killy, but got free advance in charge, free fallback in charge, 2 incredible rules. A lot of great characters can attach to them, including Abaddon. Abaddon with a 10-man chosen bodyguard, cheapest chips. Incredibly versatile unit.
Okay, I hope that Terminators are 195 as well. I'm going to Terminator Assault Squad. You can't stop me. No.
Okay, sounds good. Other things, I think the Vindicator is a little too pricey. I would have loved, again, 210's a lot. The data sheet got a lot better.
40 points a model!
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope so.
Dark Angels. I'm curious what their Terminators cost.
Oh, yeah. Dark Angels. Where are Dark Angels? I'm going the wrong direction. I have Control F. We're going to find Dark Angels.
Also, guys, Aldrakes, sorry to disappoint, I think.
All right, where are they? 410 for Deathwing Terminators. Oh, 470 for Deathwing Knights. Oh, that's a large number. Oh, that's a very large number.
We're bouncing around too much for my brain. Can we go back to Chaos Space for a second? I need to look at it. I need to just absorb it.
Also, people are saying that Chaos Knights are like crazy spicy.
Oh yeah. Lord Skull's 420. Yeah, that's a great price.
Oh, he's got the 420 number. Oh, that's funny. Okay, hold on. Warp Talons seem reasonable. Abaddon's obviously really good.
Yep.
Chaos Spikers, that's really cheap for a 3-man.
Raptors, by the way, it looks like Raptors at 95 with free war gear. Currently, if you bought them with like 2 plasmas and a fist, I think they're currently like 140, which is way too much. Now 95 with special weapons. Raptors
95 for everything? That's really
good.
Okay.
That's an elite unit right there. You can take 3 units of Raptors in any list and feel fantastic about that.
Even the
Chaos someone's saying that I want to see Demons. Because Demons, I'm very, very curious about.
Lord of Change for 230?
What?
Is this real? I mean, what the heck is that? 230?
It's 15 more points than a Demon Prince. That makes 0 sense.
30 for a Lord of Change. That's having fun.
You can bring 3 Lords of Change for under 700 points.
What about...
Okay, wait. How much? And it's 255 for the Everstave, which you're taking the Everstave because it's cracked. Yeah,
for strength 12 shooting, that's really good.
That's really good.
On the Zinch topic, also Flamers. I know they got a slight nerf or whatever.
Yeah, they're a bit worse.
65 points. You still
65 points is really cheap. How much has changed?
Oh, that's what they needed. Yeah, because off the data sheets.
Oh, the data sheets 75.
75.
Data sheets.
Oh, 75. That's good.
Chaos list. Every chaos list as an objective holder, general shenanigans case.
I had assumed that's a slow number. Data sheets, right? I had thought that the Lord of Change would be over 300 points. I thought that the Flamers were going to be bad because their data sheet's pretty weak. But at those price points, I mean, like that's pretty efficient.
No, Lord of Change at 230 is like super efficient.
I do feel a little bit of cope in at least that Plague Bearers are at 145 for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, Chilaxi's at 400. Oh, that kind of hurts.
Ouch. Yeah, Chilaxi, she's best glow up in the game, but you pay for that. Yeah. I still think take her in a lot of lists. Like, I don't want people to be discouraged if you have a Chilaxi. She's still incredible, but she's not being everything.
Yeah. The Great Unclean one is super cheap too. Holy crap!
Especially with enhancement, he's like 300. I couldn't see what one kid had.
It's Wow, yeah, it's like barely over 1,000 points to have 3 great unclean ones in Rod, I guess.
Let's quickly go with the greatest hits by God. So again, we just talked about Tzeentch. Let's also talk about Slaanesh, because I think Slaanesh, I'm really curious what people think in the chat. I think the chariots got a little too pricey. The Tormentbringer on the Exalted Chariot being 160, the Exalted being 115. The Hellflayer, it was like a crazy points cost. It was like 100 for the Hellflayer.
I mean, Hellflayer is 110. That's pretty high, but I mean, look at the Hellflayer's datasheet. That is a really good data. Yeah.
It can be shot.
It's 7 wounds. That is true. But its damage is really good.
Its damage is really good. Again, 110 feels a bit much. Demonites at 140 though. That's
too high.
Painful.
They're 5 points less than the Plague Bearers. That's really weird.
Yeah, Bloodletter is 160.
Hold on.
That's pretty good.
Look at the Nurglings.
Nurglings. Ooh, 40 points. Ooh.
Nurglings, guys, there's a reason, I kept all my Nurglings. They're an incredible unit. Especially with the new missions. I don't know if people in the chat have played the new missions yet, but I've already played like 3.5 games because one game ended kind of early. And little units like that, just there's so many secondaries and points that are tied to just like being in random places or like stopping people from being in places, stopping your opponent.
Also, I just like to add things. Blood Crusher, 120 for 3 is like actually cracked levels of points.
Are insane.
Blood Crushers look really good.
Horn Gang rise up.
Blood Crushers look really good. How much is the Rendmaster? Okay.
Pull out the
Rendmaster.
We're making a
150?
list.
Okay, Rendmaster 150. That's reasonable.
Yeah, this way you put him down in Deep Strike, have a bunch of 3 or 2 damage attacks from the Blood Crushers.
I'm really curious for something. Pull out the notepad. We're making a quick list here.
Okay. Let's see.
But also the Blue Scribes at 65.
I want to see how much the Be'lakor
actually really good.
I want to see how much the Be'lakor blob is, where you just like park all the greater demons around Be'lakor.
So
I don't think we talked about it, but Be'lakor at 325.
No,
guys, do you ever see yourselves not taking him? That seems like the most auto-include in the history of auto-includes.
That's actually like broken. That is beyond repair broken. How is he that cheap? Why does he have an aura of you can't be shot? All right, so Be'lakor, first one, right?
So Be'lakor is a top 10 unit in the entire game easily.
Top 10 lad for sure.
Yeah.
We're having a Lord of Change. Because it's really, really good.
230, sneak it on in there.
255 Everstave. You don't. You just don't not do that. So.
Of course. Great. Do you take the great and clean one in this list?
I think that you should try. Right? Can you?
I think we try.
I think the enhancement
you can.
was 30. So he's 320
it is
with the enhancement.
Okay. 310 with the enhancement.
Oh my god, this is a bargain.
You could fit.
Do we want to double up on Lords of Change? Because shooting
honestly,
outside
maybe.
of my because you can shoot outside of your not be shot.
Kairos is the second Lord of Change.
Kairos is the second Lord of Change. Yeah.
I will say, just kind of watching the chat. Deso's 240 for 10. Yeah, that's a little. I mean, it's not crazy,
Deso's is high. That's high. I don't like that.
So let's see here.
Also, once we get done with this, I want to look at mid points.
Yeah, Tyler, I agree in general. Lessers are a little too much. Graders are too cheap. But I mean, there's definitely some exception. I think Flamers are a great deal.
Yep.
So, what are we thinking on our kind of troop roll? Do we want Bloodletters? Do we want Plague Bearers? Do we want Pink Horrors?
That's up to the player. But let's just quickly add up these points here. You get all of that goodness. You're at what's that? 580, 660, 865.
I think that's like 1,000 points.
What? It's like 1,200 points. It's under
325 plus 255.
Incredible big boys.
285 plus 310. That is 1175 so far.
Yeah. Nick from Hexley Release definitely do agree. Slaanesh is a little bit overcost on the whole.
Oh, that's really low.
I Fiends at 50. I think they're kind of suffering from being so good in the previous edition.
Suffering.
50,
yeah.
I think 50 is a kind of insane price for Fiends. I'm just gonna be honest.
Also, I'm just gonna put this in.
You still have room in this style of a build. You still have room to grab like random little characters or random units.
Half a list. You have like 4 great big boys, and you've got half a list.
I mean, I don't even
Well,
think you
I'm
need to go
doing
the blood
that.
crusher route here because you could just go with more like infantry mission play, and you already have.
No, I have enough
lethality
points for that as
maneuvers.
well. No, I get to do both walls. It's that easy.
Yeah, I'll make sure people saw Blood Crushers have a permanent 4-up invuln now. Them at 120 is one of the biggest steals in the game. Just to include.
I think if you're not
Seekers
including
are
2 units in their
95.
homes, you're insane.
Yeah, fair.
Nugget Knight, definitely World Eaters. I don't know if they got hit because they did get a lot stronger. Like their data sheets are better, their rules are much better. But yeah, and the points went up. We'll see if it's too much. But I think if World Eaters didn't go up,
Okay, that leaves us
maybe totally busted. So I mean, there's some good stuff out there.
Yeah, that leaves us 75 points. No, 65 points for this list.
Dude, what drip? What drip does Be'lakor have? What in the world, man?
Yeah.
You know what's 65 points? Flamers!
Yeah. Ridicule and Magnus both look like great deals. It's gonna be a good year it's the year of the chicken coming up. Let's just
Magnus? Let's see. How much is Magnus? 410? Honestly, 410. Totally reasonable.
Yeah, totally reasonable.
145?
I'm scrolling through this.
What?
I see in the chat. It's Cypher. Wait, what was that?
145 Mutalith Vortex Beast?
Oh my gosh. Yo, okay.
What?
So,
no, that's a typo. No.
Mutaliths are 145. They went from one of the worst units, or biggest memes, to a top 5 unit in the game. Mutaliths at 145.
Wait, 1 sec.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I will just say, by the way, Thousand Suns, I think across the board, super well costed.
Probably the best, or one of the best Chaos factions, I would say, up there for sure.
Thousand Suns?
Yeah, Thousand Suns. I mean, like, they have the right points for it now, and they have crazy, crazy faction abilities. They have the workarounds for a lot of the problems of this edition.
Yeah.
They have good ways of getting in range to do damage against units that use the all-important 12-inch no-shooty rule. They have mortal wound output. They have good survivability at range. They have a lot of abilities to get around the table if they need to. I just think they're I think they're one of the stronger factions in the game, period. I mean,
let's quickly go over the Thousand Suns roster and point out a few highlights. Rubrics under 100 at 95, fantastic. Scarab's getting better with basically -1 to wound almost all the time, and staying the same points cost, going up 5 points per 5, so whatever, who cares? A great deal. Chaos Spawn. So Chaos Spawn can only be taken in units of 2 now, according to this, PDF. That's a bit annoying, but again, 2 for 65.
War Gear is free, Michael.
Yeah, War Gear is free. Oh, you're right. So actually, Scarab's got cheaper while getting -1 to wound. Oh my god. Okay, this.
I would like you to view the document here.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else? Rhino's been 75 for Thousand Suns, cheaper than basically every other faction. That's just fantastic. Oh yeah, Kit.
Don't mind me as I alt tab out and buy some Mutalith Vortex Beasts.
Wait, Kit, Thousand Suns. Oh, Scarabs. Yeah.
Magnus 410, 10 Terminators, 3 Muses of Vortex Beast, 745 points. Yeah. And I'm just slamming in rubrics and characters.
Yeah. And I will say, by the way, for Thousand Suns players like Demon Engines, I think
it's my list.
Forge Fiends and Mauler Fiends both super well costed for Thousand Suns at like 135 or 140, whereas they're like 20 to 30 points more for the other factions that can take them. Great deal. You're gonna you can feel. I don't think they're auto includes or anything, but you're gonna feel really good about taking those. And for example, Zangor Enlightened at 45, fast, have a sniper gun. What's not to love?
Wait, Zangor Enlightened are 45? What? That's really good. Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Those are super cheap.
Yeah, you can double move them just to like move block or like flip objectives.
I really like Enlightened too. Yeah, if they're the right price, and that's the right price. I mean, they're fantastic little objective guys. You already mentioned how good it is to have things that get around the table for points. So.
So I was talking with my buddy last night about Mutalith Vortex Beast, and we were like, And he was like, okay, I think they're going to be 200. And I said, no, I think they aren't going up that much. I think they're going to be 170 clean. And he was like, nah, no way. 170 is way too cheap. If it's 170, then it's an auto. You just auto take them every time.
Yeah.
So that's some context on why I looked at 145 and just freaked out.
Yeah. Mutaliths, I mean, the one issue with Mutaliths, actually, is they're really hard to actually buy. But if you have like a slaughter beast, you can convert them up. You'll find ways to get Mutaliths on the table, because I think I don't see how you ever don't take 2 or 3 in every Thousand Suns list.
Yeah, they're good. They're your anti-tank too.
Just want to address the chat quickly. I see a comment from Kelly saying bad factions overcosted, great factions undercosted. I think there is some truth to that. Just quickly scanning through, I think in particular AdMech, I think their points are atrocious after their horrible index. Whereas I think armies like Thousand Suns, amazing index, really great.
There's no way that different people didn't write these, right? Like there's no way that you would write the AdMech book. Yeah, there's no reason you'd write the AdMech book and then somebody would write like the Thousand Suns book. Like one just has more rules than the other one, and then better price points, and that doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah,
I feel like
it still has 110 points. What the hell? Okay,
right. Yeah. I think the rules teams probably were pretty siloed in some senses, and I notice it the way these things are costed. It's kind of different visions for the edition, I guess. Yeah. Can we take a quick look at Death Guard just so we can cope a little bit after this one?
Before we get to Death Guard and kind of ruin the enthusiasm a bit, just want to quickly ask everyone to subscribe if you're here. It means a lot to us. I know we kind of took a little hiatus at the end of 9th, but we're planning some really big things in 10th. Come back better than ever, both video and written content. So if you can subscribe here, keep hanging out with us. That'd be awesome. Look forward to sharing the secrets of the warp.
Yeah, for sure.
Every time a Warphammer viewer subscribes to the channel, a Nurgling gets its points reduced.
Okay, list.
That is a list.
That's an insane list.
It's a really good list, yeah.
That is the first list I'm thinking of.
Hold on. Are both Arm and Magnus takeable, or is one an epic hero?
You can take both.
You can take 2 epic heroes.
You just can't take 2.
Just one of each epic hero.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
So that is that Thousand Suns list is going to win a tournament.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just tell you that right now.
We don't spend too much time on Thousand Suns. We all agree they're cracked. Basically, every data sheet super viable. Let's go over Death Guard, because that's the one people have a lot of questions about.
Well, also I've seen a lot of questions about Tyranids, so I want to see that as well.
If you want to head over there, wherever you want to head.
Tyranids. Okay, I want to freak out about Tyranids. Let's see. Okay, Tyranids. 50-point Bargots! Oh, that's a spicy meatball to start with. That's a spicy meatball to start with. Okay.
Which units were you thinking had the better data sheets that you're looking for right off the bat, right off the rip here?
Genestealers, Barbgonts, Biovores, Broodlord, Sporocysts, the Screamer Killers, Old One-Eye, Carnifexes, Maleceptor.
Okay. Let's see how those ones come out.
Okay, so I'm also just noticing things. Okay, so Barbgonts are dirt cheap. They should not be 50. Oh my god, that's absurd. Okay, you take 3 units of 5. Cool, good talk.
Buy the new box, boys.
Yeah.
Carnifex.
Okay, Carnifex is at 125. That's a little expensive. I don't know if that's worth it. But Old One-Eye at 140 is just silly. That's so good. Oh, okay. That means you might actually just take Old One-Eye solo and not take Carnifexes, honestly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's spicy, but I can actually see that logic.
Yeah. Old One-Eye at 140 is like a complete steal. That's like one of the best units.
Old One-Eye with 1 Carnifex bodyguard, just soak some wounds and do extra damage, is only 265 for the 2 of them together. That feels really good. I think you take maybe 1, but whatever. We're splitting hairs at that point.
Okay, other things. Exocrine is 135. That's just dirt cheap. Gargoyles at 75 is really, really good. I like that a lot.
Me too. I like how fast they are. It's like a big. It's a big.
Well,
swing.
they're just like the best mission play. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, incredible.
Okay, Genestealers are 90. That's fair. Very strong, but fair. Let's see. 100 points for Hive Guard? It's not bad, actually. It's not great, but it's not bad. Ooh, 7-point Hormagaunts. I like that.
I will say, Kit, I'm curious what you think about the Von Ryan's Leapers, because I thought they were a fantastic data sheet. 75 feels really good for them.
75 is really good for them. That's 25 a model. That's really cheap. Yeah. That's really strong, I think.
Yeah, for you, that really messes with your opponent's ability to interact with your objectives and stuff.
Let's see. Okay.
I kind of like the Exocrine too.
That's just really nice.
It's only 135. Yeah. 135 for like big gun.
135 for the Exocrine. That's just like
that is
beef.
Really spicy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just like a brick, and I put it in your face.
Yeah.
Especially with a 165 Maleceptor as well. That's also dirt cheap.
Seems like a good direction to go.
Hive Tyrant at 220 is too expensive, honestly. I get why they put it so high, because Onslaught is just incredible, but that's really, really high. I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah. Man, are you sure 220 seems reasonable to me? Maybe
220 is really high. Its damage is really not good.
And
you can just get so much more beef.
Hero specs at 125. I want to feel
Hero specs at 125. That's actually really good, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's really low. Okay. Hero spec. Swarmy 250. That's too high. I don't think you take Swarmy. Yeah. I think Swarmy.
By the way, speaking of beef, the Tyranid effects at 200. I mean that's a lot of beef. I mean it's.
I also just noticed this. Tyranid warriors with ranged weapons, 70 points for 3.
Oh yeah.
That's low. Yeah. That's low.
Okay. I just want to quickly address a few comments. We all keep looking at NIDs.
Mm-hmm.
The Hex Fleet, that's 4 big knights, horrors, changeling, enhancements under 2K.
Venom Thropes at 70. What the fuck? Venom Thropes at 70?
Yeah, they're very good. Very good Nugget Knight.
Wait, Venom Thropes at 70? Really?
Michael, AdMech are getting codex in a few months, so I guess they just didn't put a lot of effort.
No, you just take 2 units of Venom Thropes.
Don't despair. You'll still have a lot of fun.
You just do that.
Okay, so I think that the nice thing I'm seeing here is there's a lot of units that you'd expect to bring that are a little bit less than you'd expect to pay for it. Which to me means your list is going to have more stuff than you'd feel like you should, which is a good spot to be in.
There's going to be a lot of stuff in Tyranid lists.
Yeah. And you're going to have a lot of these little trade units. You're going to have a lot of units that you can throw away. Yeah.
Yeah. The strength is that heavy hitters and the cheap mission and like screen stuff are both really well costed. There's really well costed options like all ends. So you can make some really effective 2K lists.
I am noticing there's some things here that are a bit overpriced, I think.
Okay.
But
you just go around those though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick thing, just address in the chat. Paul, opinion on Sorcerer and Terminator armor for Thousand Suns. Pretty good unit. I think it's not auto include.
Yeah.
Actually, hold up. If you're taking Scarabs, I think you can take it and feel really good about it. The lethal hits is nice. Reroll and hit rolls of 1 is nice.
I
like the solo sorcerer, the normal sorcerer, just because then you can get the arcane vortex on him, and then you can do the strat for the full hit and wound rerolls with dev wounds, and that's just really, really good.
Yeah, agreed.
You dump
one last comment. Michael asking, can we talk about how the Umbrella for Crystal is a steal at 20 points? Yeah, it's just an auto include. It's literally every Thousand Suns list.
Oh yeah, no, every list has it. Yeah, just straight up.
Nothing to talk about.
Can we look at Death Guard now? I want to see my boys.
Yeah, I can show you Death Guard.
I'm gonna see if there's any gems.
I have gotten my scheduled Tyranid freak out in.
Yeah, big summary of what basically Kit and Walster said about Tyranids. Tyranids players, you should feel amazing. Also,
Tyranid players should feel really good right now.
By the new box,
yeah. Okay, Death Guard. What are we looking at here? So,
off the rip, let's take a look. Blightlord Terminator's still bad. Feels bad.
Yep, still bad. 175. That's a lot.
That's the one people want to know about.
Mortarion 370.
That's
super well costed.
That's nice.
That's low. I like that.
Incredibly low.
Oh no. The audio is gone. One sec, Tech. I think that Discord can't handle this. Discord is clearly unable to handle the raw energy going on here. But yeah, points really low. Okay, Death Guard seems really strong. Mortarion costs that, man, that's really low. Also, like, these random characters are just super cheap. Plague Surgeon, 65. Yeah, Diet of Shock at reasonable Mortarion cost, that sounds about right. Hello, we're back. Discord, they cannot, but I'm about to let them.
Jamin asking, is Wargear free? It seems that way across the board, which I think is really cool. Just makes it way easier for new players. And yeah, my last comment, Plague Burst at 175. So let's actually talk about that.
I think it's fine.
If they stayed near their old points cost, they're an auto include. I think going up, I think it went about 30 points depending on the war gear you took. I think they're fine. 175 is a bit much though.
175 is a bit high.
There's a lot of
I was looking for.
There's a lot of no line of sight shooting in this edition, and the nice thing is Death Guard are really good against most of those profiles. Like they're really they have really good survivability against them. Yeah. And the your no line of sight shooting still beats their no line of sight shooting if they're shooting.
That's the advantage. Yeah.
I don't know if that's super true.
Well, I don't know if that's true for Desos.
Yeah, we have the only honest indirect shooting in the game that doesn't have like heavy and ignores cover built in, like all the others seem to have for some reason. So we just have the honest indirect, which makes it a little imbalanced intent given how good some other indirect is.
Fortunately, honest indirect is worse than dishonest indirect.
That is true.
Throw up a stream for me, Mr. Kit.
I think that's what broke it.
Oh, is it? So I should just watch off of the YouTube one.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's see here. So yeah, just addressing a few comments in the meantime. Hobby Shame. Yeah, Hobby Shame brings up a great point that, again, balance will be brought through point adjustments. Don't overreact today. But in the meantime, a lot of good stuff here.
Okay, so where are we looking at?
Typhus is super cheap. And one other thing, 115. I think.
Oh yeah, 115. That's really good, actually. That's not bad. I need to look back at it.
Sorcerer and Terminator armor for 85. Really great utility.
So outside of the characters, the all-important question: are Plague Marines good? If Plague Marines are good, then the faction is good. And Plague Marines are at 100 points. I think that's pretty reasonable. And because of that lone decision, I think the faction is pretty reasonable. That's not 85 points. If they were 85 points like Noise Marines, I'd be saying Death Guard stonks are crazy high. I would be saying we're Death Guard players, boys. We're going to Death Guard land. At 100, very reasonable, aggressively costed still. I think that means your faction is fine, and you don't need to cry about it.
I agree.
That's a good spot to be in.
10 Plague Marines with a Blight Spawn for the always fights first, and it's actually pretty decent volume of shooting in melee for 255.
Yeah, that's very respectable.
Really
and you can put that in a Land Raider. You can. Like, that's actually not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing to have in a Land Raider. And then all of a sudden you have a vehicle that can get up the table and unload a big payload of Nurgle boys. That seems like a good...
Yeah.
Even a Rhino, too. Even if you don't get a charge afterwards, just put them on objective and then they have fights.
Oh, yeah. How much is a Rhino? Rhino at 80? Actually, that's really cheap.
Yeah, so you have 10 Plague Marines with the Blight Spawn always fights first in a Rhino for a total of 330 points. That's really good. Like, you bring 3 Plague Marines full of Rhinos with Blight Spawn. And I think that's actually like a list a lot of armies will struggle with. So Death Guard players, I know it's been a dreary few days, but I think the actual core Death Guard mechanics of like Plague Marines and Rhinos, Death Shrouds, support characters, I think that's actually fine. And again,
even the
370 saves a lot of the faction.
even the
Rotating
photo,
being that cheap.
the photo bloat drone is still like a decent forward moving unit at 135.
Yeah,
too,
135 with full
that's
benefit,
reasonable.
great harassment unit. Also, the Demon Prince being only 170, that's another big saving grace for
what?
the faction.
Really?
They needed him for the field
Yeah,
nobility.
Demon Prince is 170.
Only 170.
It's like randomly 210 for demons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 215 with it for the winged
Points
Demon
cost?
Prince.
Yeah. So, Death Guard players out there, points costs have saved the faction. You'll have fun in 10th edition. We'll wait for your codex.
It feels like Death Guard are going to have like a few units that you need, but not a ton of them.
Here's the thing. If you're a Death Guard player right now, go out. I make sure you have enough Plague Marines. Make sure you have some Rhinos. Make sure you have some Death Shroud. Make sure you have a Demon Prince. Make sure.
Luckily, if you're a Death Guard player, you probably already have Plague Marines.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's fortunately a list that a lot of people have on their shelves. For example, 30 Blight Lords was the list. A lot of people wouldn't have that. But Plague Marines with support characters, that's fine. Mortarion, most people already have them.
Also, Despoiler. We have done some CSM already. A quick recap is basically Noise Marines are like uber cracked because 85 points a model for 5 of them. 85 for 5 of them is just stupid. Warp Talons look good.
Possessed are auto.
Possessed are just auto include. Possessed for at 145 is really good. Raptors are really strong. Abaddon is like way cheaper than he has any right to be. 280 is just super low. And
I
think if you're a CSM player, your
CSM stonks, man.
Yeah, no. If you're a CSM player, you're today. As long as you're old enough to legally drink in your country, I recommend going and popping some champagne tonight.
CSM looks good. Also, like 165 for a Forge Fiend is just very reasonable.
Yeah, CSM I think easy top 5 faction in the game, possibly higher. But let's keep looking at other armies. Let's look at Chaos Knights, for example, or the Knight.
Oh, Chaos Knights.
I was gonna recommend Chaos Knights next too, because that's what I'm curious about.
All right, so Abominate 395. Ooh, they went down.
Joel, Huron at 80, great bargain. You can feel really good about it.
They got cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, holy shit. Knight Tyrant at 485? What?
Knight chassis across the board, way too cheap. That's going to be a very strong list, just bringing big boys with some supports.
Knight Tyrant at 485 is dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Even with a Panoply, that's only 525. That's really cheap. That's really cheap.
A knight walking around with a 0-up save and cover, that's super killy for a quarter of your army. I think Tyrants were basically useless last edition, unfortunately.
Yep.
It's their time to shine in 10th.
Oh, they're really good. Yeah, that's really good. That's cheap.
So let's talk about it a little bit. So
Desecrator 390 with
at 390.
Oh, that's wild.
Despoiler 410 is also cracked.
So hold on.
It was already 400 though. So.
Based on these points,
it was 475 last edition.
How many big guys are we talking? How many big guys do we actually want?
3.
I was gonna say Tyrant, maybe 2 Tyrants, 1 middle, and then you have like 4 War Dogs.
I think you do like Tyrant, Despoiler, Desecrator.
Okay.
Well, or Tyrant, Despoiler, Abominant. Either. Like Tyrant, Despoiler, Desecrator, Abominant. I want 3 of those. I don't want the Rampager. I don't like the Rampager. I think that
the
Rampager would need to be like 350.
So basically, I think Chaos Knights. You bring 3 big boys, a bunch of War Dogs. That's an extremely strong list.
Also, especially like with the new "you can't stand on objectives" thing. Melee only knight would have to be really, really cheap for me to want to actually include it.
Great point. So just addressing a few comments in the chat. Venom Crawlers at 140. Yeah, Despoiler. They got a huge glow up. They've been really good for me in test games. But 140 is right on the edge where it gets a little tough. I think you can bring them. You don't feel bad, but 140, it's definitely a bit much. Slanesh, Abhinav saying Slanesh is overcosted in general. Yeah, the demons. Noise Marines are amazing, but the demons a little too pricey. But there's still some very strong stuff. Demonites still average like insane amount of mortal wounds.
Man, the stalkers at 135.
Rules commentary.
What the
good
hell?
Thing.
Rules commentary is out.
Yes, I've got it pulled up now.
All right. Well, while we pull that up, I'll quickly address a few other points costs. I think are very good. Let's see here. Yeah, but demons in general, I think the Tzeentch smalls are very good. I think the Khorne Bloodletters at 160, I think that's
this
a bit
is a
much. I think
thick
Khorne, you
document.
go like Blade Crushers. Tzeentch, you go literally everything is good in Tzeentch. Like literally everything is amazing. Pinks,
This is a
Flamers,
thick
Reapers.
document.
Slaanesh, I think you have a lot of options. I think you probably go some Demonettes with some Transweavers. I think that's a pretty effective package. It's about 200 points. You have fights first. You have some mortal wounds, innate hit rerolls. It's fine. And yeah, Nurgle, I think Nurgle, you go one great and clean one, possibly Rotigus, and then you have your pick of options from there because they're all pretty well costed.
Okay, so this is what I thought it was. Yeah. So moving over terrain when flying is you move through the air.
Cool. Also, yeah, Chris, great point. For those that haven't read the commentary yet, sustained hits, not stacking, that's a very important thing to note. Basically, the rule is, I've been kind of scrolling through this while Kit's been talking. Any special rule, like for example, lethal, sustained, etc., doesn't stack with its own ability. You can only choose one of those. For example, say you have sustained
You can't
hits 3
double
and
sustained.
hits 1.
Yeah.
You choose one of those. Obviously, choose the sustained hits 3. And to spoiler, Mortarion, oh my god. If you expected 500,
oh, he's so cheap. It's really good.
Yeah. In POL, does Nurgle Demons add some value to Death Guard? 100%. I think you bring some Death Guard, you bring some Nurglings to harass or screen, because everything else get kind of expensive.
So Fly seems decent.
Fly is so weird to me. Why does the flying
It's so much worse. But
yeah, why does the flying unit start on the ground? That's what's weird to me. I've always visualized them as gliding through the air while you're battling. And it's weird to me that they have to spend movement to go actually physically up into the air on the table.
Yeah.
That just seems so...
I mean, Fly was a bit absurd, so... Also, they did clarify damage is min 1, which is nice.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's super important. Also, one quick thing, by the way, I know we talked. Support weapons were the big question everyone was talking about. I'm not sure if everyone's seen, but support weapons went to one model and they went up to 85 points. So support weapons, don't worry about them.
I mean, there's still a bit of a problem.
You're still probably playing against 3 of them, and they're still probably going to auto cap you on turn one of your like vehicles or something and make it explode. But
also, for the record,
it'll feel less bad now.
I told people that Eldrad was 100, and they didn't believe me. And I will now say, Eldrad is in every single Eldar list. He is the first unit you take.
Yes, agreed.
That is just a thing that happens.
Yeah, 100% agreed.
Cool. I don't even want to look at Eldar. They're so
I think that here, Kit, if you can go back to the diagrams in the commentary.
Oh yeah.
I think there was some cool stuff about line of sight. I just saw scrolling through there.
Okay,
some of the cool diagrams for the bottom. Let's take a look and kind of discuss that.
Yeah, let me get that for you.
Cool. And in the meantime, while Kit's pulling it up, if you're here, why not subscribe? It helps the channel grow. We have a lot of amazing content coming in 10th edition. Listen, I feel a little uncomfortable asking. It's not my personality to ask for things, but it would mean a lot, would help the channel grow, and would help all 3 of us keep bringing more amazing content your way in 10th, because this could be a huge year for Warphammer, huge edition. We're all in on this edition with written content, video content. You're in the right place. We're going to have a good time.
Every time a Warphammer reader subscribes, the point cost on Noise Marines goes down.
Exactly. Noise Marines are now down to 50 points, which big thank you to all of you for subscribing. But
yeah, man, I don't know. Eldar seem really unfair. I definitely still would put them as the best faction in the game.
No, for sure.
Based on points, points, based on rules. It's like they do everything super, super well. They can front load all their dice, which seems like a huge mistake as a mechanic.
Yeah.
And then the things that are like the insane data sheets that you're like, whoa, are all super cheap. I mean, like, when I looked at Demons and I saw Be'lakor, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But I have literally that experience over and over and over again when I look at these Eldar. Like, come on. What is this about?
Eldar are wild. So let's talk about that. Diagram 6 and 7, I think, are very interesting here. The important thing to note, basically, if people can see a bit of you that's outside of the terrain piece, then they can shoot you. But as long as part of you is in the terrain piece, you can't shoot them, which is really kind of weird.
It hurts a vehicle a good bit, honestly.
Yeah.
which is probably fine, considering vehicles are super strong.
Yeah.
And then, so infantry in ruins means if you're in the ruin, you can be shot. If you can also shoot things in the ruin. You have to be fully within the ruin to shoot.
Yeah. I think Diagram 7 in particular is something I think everyone's going to want to make sure they fully understand before playing games. Again,
Diagram 8 is also the last thing.
Yeah.
Similar story.
Yeah. And again, that's one of those things where we're definitely doing some video content, kind of showing you some plays on the tabletop and help you understand the rules. So we'll probably do a video on this at some point. But yeah, basically, if you don't understand how ruins work, I think opponents are going to have a big advantage on you. So definitely brush up on that.
Make sure that you understand ruins.
Especially if you play things like Knights, for example. Gone are the days of just towing one of that massive base into a ruin with like an inch and shooting the board.
It doesn't matter. You just your tower and you just shoot them at
What
are you talking about, Mike? I don't know.
By the way, just on the topic of War Dogs, people said the Executioners looked really bad. 130 though is a really
135, but
135, but that kind of that points solve a lot of issues with with bad units.
I'm guessing Imperial Knights are the same.
Yeah, so let's take a look at Imperial Knights. I have it over here.
Okay, Imperial Knights. They're a bit more expensive overall.
Aaron to 375. That feels
Aaron at
wild.
375 is pretty good. Canis Rex at 405 is really silly.
Oh no.
Oh my god. No. I can't.
Yeah,
I thought those eras were over. The era of Canis Rex just doing it to you.
No, it's back.
Done. He's back, boys.
Yeah.
The Warden at 420 is also... he's one of the more expensive ones, but that's deserved because he is -1 damage.
Play the John Cena. Oh, wow. Play the John Cena intro music when Canis Rex just for severe lines and nukes half your army.
Yeah.
Well, he kills anything he touches. That's how it works.
Dude, he would suplex greater demons through the crust of the earth. Yes, what's up, Mike?
Oh yeah.
I'm curious, both you guys. Where would you put Knights in the overall tier ranking? Because again, I think the big question was points. I think the answer to their points is just
with
yes.
This. I'm putting them at an A.
I think
solid A. Yeah, solid
A. I think they're the gatekeeper of this edition. I think they're going to be a stat check that is required that you pass if you want to consistently 6-0 at events.
Yes.
So I think if you want to 6-0 at an event, your list has to have a plan going into Knights that is a reasonable plan because they're very popular as a faction. Like everybody seems to have a Knight army. They're really easy to pack and travel with. So it means they'll be at tournaments all the time. They're cool. So a lot of people get into them because they're cool. And then on top of that, I mean, like their rules really, really, really lean hard into this edition's increase in vehicle durability.
Yep.
Yeah.
That lone change means that you have to actually tech in good anti-knight shooting or melee or something to be able to handle them. So
also,
I think they're
spoiler, Imperial Termies are 40 points a model. Just to get that out of the way.
It's going to be hard because some factions I think are going to really struggle to even have that in their book. Like Drukhari are a good example. Drukhari are very powerful. Drukhari have really good rules, and their points still are looking good from just a brief, quick scroll. But they're going to have a tough time breaking all that heavy armor, like for sure. Like their faction just doesn't have that much.
I mean,
in
they
terms,
can bring an insane amount of blast cannon type guns with full hit rerolls.
They need to pretty much, but they have to build that into their list. Like they're going to have to. They're going to have to plan around Dark Lances just being a part of what they do.
Yeah. Tyranids are in a similar situation. The points being so cheap helps them out a lot because you just have old One Eye at 140 and he just kills things kind of on his own.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I still think you take the one card effects.
Like he kind of just handles Knights.
His old One Eye just to buy extra wounds for him.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. I feel like there's just so expensive for so much worse output.
That is fair. The card effects and old One Eye being basically the same cost is kind of hilarious.
But
it's really funny.
But what if old One Eye had double his woo?
What if he had double his eyes? He'd be twice as good.
I mean, Old
Cool.
One Eye also has a 5 Feel No Pain just natively, whereas
You've heard of-
Carnifexes just don't.
You've heard of Old One Eye, but have you heard of New Three Eye?
No, I have not.
Young Three Eye. That's who it is now.
Is that the new Magnus model? Again, at 410. Great deal. So let's just address a few comments.
Mhm.
Let's see here. So Kelly brings a comment. Wanted to have Knights as the first army, but basically weren't known to play them outside of tournaments. I don't think that's actually as big an issue in practice as it is on the internet. People just want to play games. If you're a friendly opponent, and honestly, the kind of person that's like, oh, I don't want to, play Knights. They're like mustard or whatever. You're wasting your time with them anyway.
Yeah, agreed.
Wolf and
I think that's just a very silly thing to talk.
Wolfen,
very silly perspective to take. All right, where do we want to look at next? We got
let's look at Grey Knights, by the way. All three of us love Grey Knights. We also have a soft spot for how the faction plays.
They were among the strongest factions by datasheet law.
Yes. Yeah. But I do think that the Grey Knights pay a lot of points for their improvements. So yeah, I'm very curious what you guys think.
Here we are. So okay. What are we looking at?
We're looking for the G's. Wrong direction.
Yeah, I've got them.
Cool. Okay. Guess I'm
okay.
Delayed.
Yeah. They're fairly expensive. Okay.
Yeah, they got all elite, but I mean, they're paying a lot. Even their basic troops. I mean.
Yeah, 135 for strikes. That's not crazy high, but that's high.
No, I mean, with a 2-up save, but I mean, compared to Noise Marines, but I guess every troop's bad compared to Noise Marines.
Yeah, I mean, Noise Marines are just cracked. Yeah. So.
I love the way they're.
Mike, we've got a question from the chat.
Paladin is 50 point a model.
Yeah. Cypher, is he worth at 105 for increase for the Vect?
Oh, definitely. I think because you want, again, Shooting is so powerful this edition, you need lone operative, all objectives, and Cypher is one of the best. Because again, he also gives you some really good. The Vect is super valuable. Because again, it's one of those things. Once you start playing games, CP is super tight. If you make a key stratagem cost 2 instead of 1, that stratagem is basically off the board for them.
Pretty much, I agree with that.
Let's pull up the profile on the Paladins.
Yeah,
I want to compare. Let
me see what's a Dread Knight looking at. 245 for a Grandmaster Dread Knight and 215 for a normal. That's really high, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to take a look at the Paladins and compare, because Terminators, based on our previous interpretation here of that Terminator point cost, that seems like a good Terminator point cost, right? So I want to compare now if a Terminator is better than the Paladin. That's always the question that you ask with Grey Knights when you're list building.
So Paladin here,
so similar, you can probably get away with running one as the other, depending on which is better. But cool. What were we all saying?
One thing I'm noticing here, you can attach a lot of things to Paladins, which is really useful.
Okay, I'll keep an open mind.
Yeah, I mean, when you get free garbage, it makes things weird with points too.
Because
you get a lot of free garbage.
Yeah, Paladins getting the weapons plus the guns for free. That's awesome.
Okay, so they have the -1 to wound roll, which is nice. 2 up, 4 up, 5 wounds. T5, 3 wounds. So termy defensively.
Yeah.
Weapons-wise, so you get 2 special guys.
Yeah.
Yep, 2 special guys. And then you can have a banner. I don't think you do, but it's an option. So 2 special guys, Nemesis Force Weapon. Paladins don't look that good. Honestly.
Okay.
They don't look like they're worth that many points.
Then I think the Terminators is the answer, right? Because the Terminators seem pretty reasonable at 225 for 5.
I mean, it's still kind of pricey.
It is, but it's more reasonable. And
I mean, they hit pretty hard. They have a good wound count.
Yeah.
Defensively, they actually look like basically identical. Actually,
Now, even with Paladins being a bit overcosted, the amount of things you can do with them, like the teleport moving stuff, like if you protect them pretty well, they'll get a lot of value back. That's
also
the other side.
Worth noting, the Terminators here getting a Narthekium, whatever the hell you pronounce that as. Yeah, a Narthekium as replace a Stormbolter, not replace their melee weapon. that feels
really
really good to me because it's just every turn you get back a model for free. You get lethal hits when you charge. That's just actively very good. And then you can get buffed by all the characters. So yeah, I think it's just Terminators. I think you just take the Paladins and proxy them as Terminators.
Yeah, that's super good.
That's what you do.
Yeah. Also, I'm just gonna say, Grey Knight Servitors are weirdly correct because they get free deep strike and teleport assault, and have the good marine data sheet. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, the 4 ballistic skill. Yeah, that's really funny. Because because heavy and then they get +1 ballistic skill, and they have free war gear, 50 points.
Yeah.
Tell me about Kaldor Drago. How is he looking on?
Drago's really good. I like Drago a lot. So Drago gets the 4 Feel No Pain against mortals for his unit, just good, especially early on. And the important thing, +3 to charge on the turn that he deep strikes.
Yeah.
So he gets 6-inch deep strike charges for him and Terminators.
Yeah.
So you just have Terminators. You take Drago and he can attach to Terminators. And so you take him, you attach him to Terminators. You take that Terminator brick. It's a 10-man brick. Charges something. End of the turn. Teleport away. Next turn. Teleport in. Charge something else.
I mean, that's where I'm not as worried.
Everything. Yeah,
that's not where I'm not as worried with points because
and it's all 6-inch charges.
You could do a 10-man Terminator brick. You could also do just a 5-man Paladin. Either one seems like a crazy damage output in melee.
I mean, Terminators are just cheaper than Paladins and better than them, so I feel like you just do that.
But the 5-man Paladin is a smaller investment as a melee tool than the,
but you could do a 5-man Terminator.
10-man Terminator. Yeah, but the Paladins are significantly more damagey for 5. I guess they're not. Fall into it. Are they not? I thought they had.
No, they're not.
The all Thunderhammer thing.
No, they can't. Paladins can't get any special weapons.
Really? Oh, okay, never mind.
It is just all of their weapons are just the Nemesis swords. I think, and they're 4 attacks. I think Terminators are also 4 attacks. Literally, it's the same profile. Paladins are +1 to hit, but Brotherhood Terminators have lethal hits.
Yeah, never mind. I thought they could still take the hammer.
Yeah, no, you just take Terminators.
There's no reason to bring the Paladin. Yeah, that's always been the question with Grey Knights, and it's always oscillates one way or the other. Is because they're such a similar unit. They've never really found a way of separating the two out in an interesting way game wise. It's always just been which one is more efficient for the points, which is unfortunate.
So Chris, servitors don't get the faction ability. You would normally be correct, but they have a specific rule where while a Tech Marine is leading the unit, they get deep strike and teleport assault.
Yeah.
So they just get
it. A lot of I love cheap screening units that also do cool things. And
exactly.
In that category.
Yeah, legitimately, it's just hitting on 3s and with 2 multi-meltas or 2 plasma cannons.
Another unit to kind of talk about, I think the Brotherhood Librarian is very good.
Librarian?
Options, 110, and he's got the really good Vortex of Doom.
Yeah, Vortex of Doom, that's good. Yeah, 2d3 mortal wounds or 2d6 if you spike, but usually 2d3.
Even if you fail it and you roll the 1, you still get a pain against the wounds inflicted from that. So I think it's pretty spicy.
The thing that does worry me, though, is that the Sancta could is while they're leading a unit, models in the unit have 4 Feel No Pain against psychic attacks.
Yeah.
That is a very common ability I've seen of Feel No Pains against mortal wounds and psychic. And that's going to hurt Grey Knights a lot, I think. Because Grey Knights have literally all of their stuff has psychic.
Sure.
Everything that's not a Stormbolter is psychic.
Yeah. That's the problem endemic to certain factions. Like Thousand Suns have a similar issue. Tzeentch Demons, all their guns basically are psychic. Like flamers and stuff, so...
Yeah. Also, yes, Adolf, Paladins do get double heavy weapons, but the heavy weapons aren't good enough to be worth the extra 5 points a model. is my opinion.
But here's the thing. One thing I want to make very clear, by the way, if any Grandmaster players are listening, we don't think Paladins are trash or unplayable. We're just talking like a 100% optimized world. Paladins.
Yeah,
are
I don't
fine.
think Paladins aren't. Paladins aren't bad. I just think Terminators are better. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
that's really all it is.
I'm curious, what other factions do people want to see some competitive analysis of?
Yeah. So, what's the chat want to see for? Okay. Do we want to see? Do we want to cry about AdMech for a moment?
I think we do AdMech and Votann together.
Okay, let's look at AdMech. Honestly, okay, hold up. I want to go in on GW. Let's go to AdMech.
Okay.
So I've been browsing points, and I have thoughts. I have things to say. I've got feelings.
Ooh, 140 Onager. Oh boy.
So basically, the issue is AdMech had a few units that are like, okay, most stuff, whatever, a lot of weird rules, but there's a few units that if points are right, they stay about the same. They're in a great spot. Excuse me. And we got a From Breacher, so that were pretty good.
Yeah.
Up to 50 points per model? That is an absurdity.
125 for Rangers is silly. 100 for Vanguard
Rangers
is also silly.
A unit of Rangers costs 50% more than a unit of Noise Marines, just for a little bit of context.
Yep. Actually, okay, I will say, there is a good unit in here.
Is it? So let me guess here. I think the spindly. I think infiltrators are still solid.
Yes, infiltrators and ruststuckers are both really strong still.
Yeah, exactly. I think the points stayed similar, which is fine. Their data sheets are fine.
Yeah. The chickens are really, really strong. It looks like.
Which
Ballistari, both. Ballistari at 50 is actually really cheap.
Here's
now,
the big issue. AdMech players don't want them
to
be
be a lot
cheaper.
worse.
They're already the most expensive unit in the game per point to collect. They don't want them dropping in points.
Dragoons actually are really cheap. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I agree. The walkers are good. They're just really impractical. And army's not good enough to go out and like buy a bunch for the specific list right now that they're under costing.
Yeah.
Also, Castle and Robots at 215, complete joke, complete and utter joke.
Well, 215 for 2 models, yeah.
Yeah, 215. I was like, if they're under 100 per model, they actually have some play. I think 215 is just way too much.
Yeah, agreed.
The Disintegrator being up at about 200 points. Come on,
195. But yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
what are we doing? I think it's currently like 130 or 135 or something.
It's 125 right now.
Yeah,
it went up 70.
Come on, what are we doing? I just don't get some of these points.
Yeah.
The Raiders went up 5 for 3, which is a little annoying because they're actually quite good now.
Compare the Rangers to Noise Marines.
Well, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. That's just mean. I can't do that.
Rangers 125. That's kind of a fundamental issue for the faction that I don't think there's be able
also,
to solve.
Votan. Since you want to do these together.
Free Pioneers.
By the way, I will say one AdMech unit, I think Skystalkers for 70 are actually
Skystalkers is good actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're running AdMech, just before we move on to Votan, if you're running AdMech and you're in despair, I think you run some Skystalkers. I think you run Destroyers at 40 points a model. They're fine. It's whatever. You're not excited about that. I mean, I'm trying to be positive.
Infiltrators and then chickens, and that's it.
Yeah, you spend like 3 years' salary in your country buying a lot of the Ballistari, and you still win like 30% of your games.
Or you find yourself a printer.
Well, that's
we're not official GW. We're not official GW. We're allowed to.
Yeah, Mike's not allowed to say it, but I am.
I mean, literally, just buy a rubber chicken and then just tape it to a base, and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, my dog has a chicken-shaped dog toy that's about the same size. I will sell it to any AdMech players. Only $50. It's slightly used, slightly broken, but those are index, so it fits right in.
Exactly. Hearthkin Pioneers are the exact same price as they are right now.
And there it goes. And the wall has crumbled.
So that's a thing.
Warriors are 135 for some reason, but they're still.
That's a lot.
I mean, they could be worse.
They just didn't go down in points.
Yeah.
It's so weird that the Berserkers are priced the same as the Warriors too. I don't know, it's just odd to me.
Hearthguard 165 for 5. I think that's down because they're 45 right now. No, that's the same.
Yeah, Hearthguard kind of waddle around still.
Why is that so high?
Hearthguard are probably your most okayest unit outside of Pioneers.
No, actually,
maybe?
wait, no, they're cheap. That's 33 a model. That's actually pretty cheap.
Yeah,
That's actually fine. I like that. That's fine.
They seem their most okay model based on these points.
Let me pull up the data sheets for them as well.
Uthar's gone the way of the dinosaur, unfortunately. The Grimnir is okay.
Yeah.
The Call is just a 90 point.
Land Fortresses, by the way, 245. I know the guns got worse. I think they're fine. They're still, 16 wounds, 2 up save. That can get cover now. T12.
Yeah, that's actually not bad.
And the fact they ignore cover is actually really big. Because, again, it's one of those things, having played now about 4 games. It's so easy to get cover, especially on the big things, that if your own stuff ignores cover, it's much more valuable.
Yep. Pioneers got hit so hard.
Still fine. I think the Votan, it was a tiny bit overstated. I think the points, again, it's not like AdMech where they got indexed hit and points hit. Votan,
I just don't know how they play the mission. I mean, like, you have to bring the Pioneers to play the mission.
Pioneers just die.
You can't survive off of Hearthguard and land fortresses, unfortunately. I mean,
well, the one good thing is basically in terms of the mission scoring, basically nothing's tied to infantry anymore, or like troops being in places anymore. So I think the fact that their mobility is tied to things that are just like those random, like the carts and the bikes, I think is actually a little bit of a relative boost. Votan, they're just a generic low tier faction, but they're not like
Hearthguard got a little worse. Hearthguard got worse, but they're still fine, and they got a lot cheaper, so that's fine. I think Hearthguard are good.
Yeah,
honestly.
Hearthguard again.
Yeah,
Hearthguard looked totally solid, though I think you're going back to Plasma.
Points right now. I'm like looking at Space Marine points on what are effectively equivalent, and they're just cheaper. That's my issue with them. I think that's the problem. The problem is
are too low.
So let's get Space Marine sake, but I do just want to address a few comments in chat. Someone brought up who was it? Let me see here.
Oh no, those points are really low. Oh, I'm looking at those points.
Nugget Knight, here's quickly. Nugget Knight brought up the Manipulus with the enhancement for 80 for the really good shooting. Yeah, that's actually really good. Yeah, I'm not a dedicated AdMech player, but yeah, there's definitely a few things you can play here.
These points are really low. Oh, I don't like that.
0 damage, but again, the shoot and scoot is fantastic for the mission. A lot of stuff is tied to being in certain places, gaining places quickly for points. I think Sky Stalkers are kind of like a near top tier unit. And probably the best unit in AdMech right now.
Okay, Terminators are reasonably costed. The rest of this feels really low. Impulsor is 95 points. Oh, that's really low.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too low. What are the Storm Speeders? Okay, Storm Speeders are like 160. That's probably fine. Hail Strike is 130. That's too low. I'll just say that's too low. They should be more than that. Yeah, Terminators 205. Okay, seems good. 200 for 5 Assault Terminators. That's very reasonable. That's where they should be.
Infiltrators and Incursors, both at 90. I think that's really good value. Which is Marines need units like that. That's
really low. Yeah.
By the way, Heavy Intercessors at 110. That's a lot of beef for the points.
That's a lot for 5 models.
They're actually pretty reasonable now. That's
6 models for 110. There's some beefy boys. Those basically are
22 points a model. Yeah. Well, also aggressors are pretty cheap.
How much are they?
220 for 6.
For 6. Oh yeah, that's actually pretty good.
110 for 3.
Just a quick glimpsing of a few of the sub factions too. I really like some of the points for Blood Angels and Black Templars specifically.
Dark Angels are.
Let's finish up regular Marines before we move on to sub factions.
Fine.
I'm just bouncing about.
Yeah.
I'm looking for other good stuff here. Land Speeder Storms, by the way, at 70. I think that's very spicy. I think that's
really good. What's the base Land Speeder? Land Speeder 80. That's very reasonable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think the Contemptor at 170 with the get back up roll is actually pretty solid.
I
You can
agree.
feel good about that. Even though it makes me super salty as a cast player that we lost our Contemptors and Leviathans and Brass Scorpions, and okay, I'll stop right now.
Yeah, don't do this to yourself, Mike.
That's fair.
Redemptor's
so let's talk about,
225. That's reasonable because it got
let's
the
talk
-1
about
damage.
how much?
Redemptor is 225.
It's really good.
That's very solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because -1 damage is so tough to get these days.
Also, by the way, something that I just remember seeing on the Tyranids points was that the new Screamer Killer is 180 points, and you just are never taking that.
Eliminator is
unplayable.
95? Why is Eliminator 95?
I think that's what they are right now. I think they're actually cheaper right now. They're like
Screamer Killers?
No, I'm talking about current
Eliminators?
current data
Yeah.
sheet, current game state. 95 is not so cheap, man.
Another
For
unit this time,
Eliminators?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not. I mean, I think it's just fine.
It kind of don't do anything. That's the problem.
I will say, Thunderfire cannons at 90. Having played against them, they're actually
Yeah,
really
that's
annoying.
really annoying.
Inbuilt shells ability or whatever.
I meant Eradicators, excuse me. I'm bad.
Okay.
Eradicators. Yeah,
I'm
yes.
bad at Imperium names. Yeah, they're the same price.
Eradicators are cheap. Yeah,
they're the same price.
Now they got a lot
super,
worse,
super cheap.
so that makes them more reasonable. But they're still very good.
I feel like they got more relevant, though. I mean, with the way that this edition is shaping up, I feel like their role as a 95-point vehicle die model is like far more needed.
The problem is they're not a just kill vehicle automatically anymore.
What's their base profile on their weapon?
Kind of.
Strength 9, AP 4, D6 damage.
I mean, they actually got better versus Knight equivalents because a 5 reroll is better than a 4-up to wound.
Yeah, but they used to double shoot.
That's actually very true. Oh, so the big thing is
and they just don't do that anymore.
Very nice in the vehicles, but they're actually now kind of garbage into like elite infantry because they.
They're actually very bad into it now.
So I think they're no longer an all-purpose tool. I think that's good. You can like put Terminators in front of Eradicators, and you no longer care at all. You lose like at most one with invuln.
I think you lose like one Terminator maximum, probably less than that.
The average is probably under. I just don't want to do it right now.
It's so weird. It's so weird to me that the Brass Scorpion went the way of the dinosaur. But
that's so confusing to me.
I still see Pedro Cantor here.
I just have to say so quickly, guys. I guess Scouts at 75 now with 2 wounds is actually insane. I think is that just an insane points cost to me? Like I think their cost is like they're still 1 wound.
70 points, yeah, that's not bad.
I feel like my brain just isn't processing the points anymore. I think the Bellacore to me.
Yeah.
Just haven't recovered
70 points
yet.
for Scouts is really cheap, actually. Yeah. I'm seeing that someone wants Tau, someone wants Guard.
How are suppressors looking? Are they good? I really hope they're.
Suppressors 95. That's fine.
They do give them 95. Okay,
which is actually pretty good.
I hope they're bad because they never got their own kit. The only way to buy them was by.
Oh, I think we just lost Walls for a sec.
Yep, Wallace is gone.
Am I here?
Yep.
Oh, he's back.
No, I'm back, and we're back.
You just cut off for a sec.
Yeah, the only way you can get suppressors is with that one intro box. So it's like.
Yeah,
really a pay. I was hoping they would be bad, just so there isn't the eBay rush.
Yeah. Let's also just say quickly, by the way, I saw people talking about like, I'm gonna bring like 3 Hammerfall bunkers and just like cover the whole battlefield and like Overwatch all the time. At 200 each, you're just not doing that. I'm sorry.
Just not doing that.
Yeah. So don't worry about that. I agree. If they were like really cheap, like 100 each, that'd be a busted list. But at 210 each, you're just it's back to a meme unit.
Oh no.
What
90 points for Infernus is really cheap.
I dug
actually.
too deep and too greedily into the point changes, and I looked at Space Wolves.
Okay.
Oh.
What do you mean, Wolves?
I hate playing against Space Wolves. Well, I mean, just to go through a couple of things. A 5 model unit Guard is only 95 points. That feels reasonable. Their characters are kind of the concerning ones. I'm seeing things like, for instance, Najal at 95, Ragnar at 105.
Really
Lucas at 55.
Logan Grimnar at 145 is actually
Logan
super
Grimnar
cheap.
140. Their characters are crazy.
At 190, I think it's a really good value.
Yeah.
Pricey.
Thunder of Cavalry are actually like only 100 points.
Thunderwolf at 100 is pretty good, especially now that you can start joining units again and playing a little hero hammer style with them. I think that's pretty crazy. So that's all nuts. I mean,
you know what's
those
not
are the
nuts?
things that stuck out to me.
You know what's not nuts? Wolfen.
What? I mean, so I think at 100 actually, just they're like cheap.
No, they're still garbage.
Okay, I'm just trying to be positive. Also, it's hilarious that Wolf Scouts are more expensive than Space Marine Scouts, but they didn't.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Clearly, some sort of like typo or something.
They pay extra points for the Wolf in their name.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about Tellable. Like, Scout snipers are actually like really good.
Yeah, that's like the one data sheet. No one's talked about it. I think Scout snipers are actually an elite unit. But cool. Let's move on. Let's talk about Guard, because that's kind of the big bad of the end of 9th edition.
Sure.
I'm really curious, and we have some requests in the chat for that.
All right, Guard. What are we looking at? So,
Tellable Scout snipers are insane.
Okay.
And,
Sentinels went up a little bit, but they needed to. 150 is pretty reasonable for them, actually, for a unit of 5 scouts. Remember that you can just regen them continuously.
Wait, sorry, what are we talking about?
Armored Sentinels or Scout Sentinels. So you can you can have a 3 model unit of Scout Sentinels, and then just when it dies 2 CP, it comes back. Just no questions asked.
So is that for any vehicle, or like a vehicle still attached to unit? Like, can you do that on a tank,
any
like
platoon?
Any platoon? Oh, platoon. Okay, gotcha. Wait, I don't think Scout Sentinels have platoon. I'm looking at the data sheet now.
It might not be platoon. It's some keyword that scouts have.
Okay. I'll double check that. You move on. I'll double check that in the meantime.
Okay, you can check that. Cool. So continuing.
It's regiment. Yeah, and they have regiment.
Regiment. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So infantry squad is also really good for that, because you can actually take bricks of 20 now, which is really useful.
That is wild.
Leman Russes went up a lot. I don't know if you're going to see them very much. That's like 190, 180, 200, 195, 180, 220 for Demolisher. Ugh.
I mean, T12 now does add a lot.
Shield
it does, but that's
really funny.
Yeah, it is.
I agree. It is super pricey.
I don't actually think you see very many Leman Russes. Also, like, comparing a Leman Russ to Rogel Dorn now is... They're similar. They're actually like...
Really,
yeah. 285 versus 220.
I kind of hate whenever it feels like the old model that everyone already has is phased out in front of the new one. That kind of feels like what's happening here with Leman Russ and Rogel Dorns.
So Leman Russes are not bad, but Rogel Dorns are good. Is what I'm seeing here.
Rogel Dorns don't have a bottom plate, so like the model.
It's true.
Yeah. Also, one thing I think is kind of hilarious. I'm looking at this.
Yeah, flip to damage 0, d6 plus 3 shots, 4, 12, 2, 3. Yeah, so this is just very good stuff.
Are 65 points for 9 to 10 models. So you can take 9 instead. You can take 10 instead of 9.
Yeah, I know.
Free. Basically, the 10th guardman in every squad is free. That's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it's really funny. The one thing that is interesting, I think. Okay, so Leman Russes didn't go up as much as it looks like, because of the fact that sponsons are now free. So you just really max sponsons.
That is really
now they still did go up a lot. But
again, toughness boost, they can get cover now, and the sponsons being free, that's really big.
The sponsons being free is a big deal.
Yeah, my blast things just take some flamers and just get off me, little demonettes or whatever.
Lord Solar, I think, is an auto take at 125. That's really strong.
Agreed. I'm curious what you all think about the Baneblade variants, because they're all looking about high 400s, low 500s.
That's pretty high. I think the Bane Hammer is the best one of those, if I remember.
Bane Hammer? Okay. Wait, hold up. A Manticore is 105 points?
Yeah, I just saw that.
Wait, what? Basilisks are 110? Wyverns are 90 points? I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, no. My least favorite archetype in the game is absolutely her.
No, guard is artillery spam.
Oh man!
Oh my gosh!
Why did they let this in the game? I hate it so much.
You can have
I
a
hate
Manticore and a
turrets.
Wyvern for combined under 200 points. That
I was
is
trying to avoid this. I was trying to like get the good stuff out of the way before you guys noticed that just
If you
artillery is dirt cheap, and
if you needed an
just spam
exclusive
artillery.
reason, if you needed an exclusive reason to just play Be'lakor and all greater demons around him that can't be shot, here you go.
Yeah. No,
Do it.
legitimately what the guard list is it's Lord Solar, it's a bunch of artillery, and then you spam sentinels and infantry, and that's the list.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no.
Yeah, do it just to make the guard player rage quit. That's the only.
I'm sorry, but that's
that's
how it is.
All the penalties with not all of them, but I think most of them heavy and ignores cover. Oh no, that's
I think you could win a tournament without ever looking at your.
This is very unfortunate.
They show up to the table. You show up to the table. You look at their and you just start rolling in a box.
Oh god, I don't like that. Look at the Wyvern. Ignore cover, heavy, indirect fire, blast, twin linked, also auto wounding 6s because it stays stationary.
Oh no. And so this is why I think 140 point demonettes are in such serious trouble. The guard indirect list, like each unit picks up its points of demonettes every turn, which is kind of mathematically unsustainable for the demons player.
Just bring more points.
IGW, no one wanted to face that list.
Chris,
it's the least fun list in the game to play.
We will have an article up tomorrow with going over all of the Chaos factions. So
yeah, actually,
look forward to that.
So actually, check the Warphammer website tomorrow because we're actually going to put together an article to start off the edition. One competitive list for every Chaos faction, just to kind of get people's juices flowing. The idea is not that you go out and copy it point for point, but use that as inspiration. Or if you're not sure where to start, you start practicing with that list and then adjust it to fit your own style.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
I don't think net listing is the way to go to become a good player or have fun. But I think looking at other lists from experienced competitive players can definitely help you get the ball rolling on your own lists.
I think you can definitely get inspiration from lists, and that's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, honestly, like literally seeing his guard points has taken out 10% of my enthusiasm for 10th.
It's fine. Like you have to play around that existing in the game now, which some factions literally cannot do. Some are just going to be like, well, I'm bringing more transports to hide my important stuff.
Yeah.
Some are going to be like, I'm going to use lone operatives to hold objectives. That's one thing I was thinking about. Like your backfield objectives.
Same ideas.
Yeah, you're going to take lone operatives, and that's going to hold your backfield objective because little units are not going to do it. Some factions have
really cheap. Wow.
Yeah, some factions just really struggle with that style. I think that what you have to do with guard is you have to like either go after their things that score them points or get back there and tie them up and like kill stuff and dig them out of their hole.
Yeah, this is a dirt cheap unit, by the way. This is 90 points.
I'll have in 10th. We'll be playing this list.
This is 90 points. Anti-fly 2-up twin link that rerolls hits against fly.
Which unit's that?
Hydra. It's 90 points.
Yeah, the one
that's actually quite good.
Yeah, not for 90. Oh wow, that's under 100. Okay, yeah, guard are looking super spicy.
Unfortunately, guard are looking super spicy as indirect spam.
Yeah,
which nobody likes.
I don't know why they brought it back. It's been bad every time they've.
I will say, you can make a good guard list that is not indirect spam. That's just you do not. If you're playing guard, you do not need to play indirect spam. Don't think that. It is also the best list, but you don't need to play it if you don't want to.
Orks is 65. That's super spicy.
It is. No, there's a lot of really spicy stuff here, actually. Some of these super heavies are actually really good. Like the Stormlord, I think, is actually quite good.
Wow.
Stormlord.
Is that the one that lots of people shoot out of it? It has like the 20 firing holes?
Yeah, firing deck 24.
Nice.
Interestingly,
you get 20 inside. You have to kill the Stormlord, then you have to kill the 20, and then they come back. That's a meme. It's a good meme.
Yeah, interesting shout out I want to put out there in the Evis. 75 points is cheaper than I thought it was going to be. The Eviscer Assassin for Agents of Imperium.
Oh, Agents that's really cheap. 75?
Super cheap. Yeah, 75. He's
really
a spicy little he's a spicy little cheap inclusion for like your guard list or whatever if you want like a melee thing.
Yeah.
Let me look at
75
the
and you get a little 75 you get a little melee dude.
I also think the Vindicator at 80 kind of solves the lone operative issue for Imperium factions that don't have that.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you have also I think you can take 2 assassins per 1,000. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So that's actually like pretty solid because that just gives you 2 lone operatives for free.
Yeah.
Well, not for free, but
not for free,
cheap.
for points, but not expensive.
2 lone operatives basically hold 2 objectives guaranteed against artillery for 160 points. And like the Vindicators, I know they're swingy, but like you just roll dice for 5 turns, like something's going to happen.
I mean they're swingy, but also their shield breaker is not that swingy.
How many attacks do you have again?
Once per game turn off saves means you always have to like be scared for the unit. The time your character picks that up.
Yeah, Eviscer's good. I think agents are interesting as an inclusion. Also, Voidsman at Arms still 40 points. Very nice.
That's really good. Yeah.
Very nice. That's the classic. I have 40 points left in my list, and I want like a cheap thing.
Yeah.
That is the perfect pick.
OC2. That's just pretty solid. Honestly.
Yeah. Oh, really? OC2. Wow, that's
OC2.
Awesome.
That's just super solid. And their gun actually isn't bad. Hilariously. It's 12 shots, assault, on 4 strength 4 AP 0 2 damage with lethal hits.
2 damage. Okay, well go ahead and everyone convert up your Voidsman.
That's just not bad.
Cool. I am very curious though. I'm looking at Agents of the Imperium. I'm seeing points cost for something called a Subductor Squad. Does anyone know what a Subductor Squad is?
It's the new thing they did for the Arbiters.
Okay, is that also what a Vigilant Squad is?
Yes.
Okay.
Subductors are weird. You get a pretty bad melee profile. That's not horrible, but pretty bad. 3 attacks hitting on 4 strength 4 AP 0 1 damage. Not great. Yeah, but whatever. They also are just like T3 1 wound with a 4-up invuln 3-up save.
4-up invuln. Okay, wow. Okay, that's Oh wow! For 100 points, you just add these cheap idiots with invulns to any Imperium army.
Yeah, that's just 10 models with a 4-up invuln.
Not bad. Not bad.
Also, they have a dog, which is just excellent.
That is amazing.
I'm going to save us the weight of having to go through every single one of these Space Marine sub-factions. I'm going to say it real quick. It looks like for all of them, they have like really aggressively costed characters and then maybe 1 or 2 like faction unique units that are good, like Dark Angels.
Let's stop messing around and get to the stuff people care about. Let's talk about the marks. Gilman and the Lion.
Yep.
Coming in at 355 for G-Man, 390 for the Lion.
380 for the Lion.
380? Oh, 380.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think my voice just kind of gave away what I thought. But what do y'all think?
I really like
Lion at 380 is very good. So Lion is the thing is legitimately there's a lot of the Lion of armies that just cannot deal with the Lion. Like just straight up they have no solution whatsoever to the Lion.
Yeah. It's just weird to me.
Also, side note, Talonmaster 115 is really cheap.
Goleman is really good as a data sheet.
Yeah, they're still very cheap.
Yeah.
Goleman is good as a data sheet. I'm just looking at 350 there, and I'm wondering if that's worthwhile. I mean, that's expensive, right? Again, Be'lakor broke my brain at the 325, right? Like my brain is ruined. It's destroyed. So when I read that, I'm like, how he more expensive Be'lakor?
Also, you know what makes me sad about Space Marines?
What's it?
Desolators are 240 for 10.
For 10, that's... I mean, Do you like sad in
For
what
5?
way?
No, for 10.
For 10? Oh, weird. That's pretty
They're
good.
24
That's
points a
pretty good.
model. That's really cheap.
Yeah, that's pretty good. No
Yeah.
line of sight. What is with this? Every new
Yeah, you definitely
back
just
to
can't
it,
help themselves sometimes.
and then they always regret it. They've never not regretted it. This time we're going to add mechanics to survive against it. Those mechanics are called not bringing units to get shot by it.
Sure.
That's mechanic. That's how you get around it, boys. That's a
Yep.
fun game state. I will say I really I really do not enjoy the play pattern of either they're shooting as uninteractive or my not being shot as uninteractive, and it's super odd they leaned into this route, I guess. And it seems like pretty ubiquitous too. Like every faction with no line of sight shooting except Death Guard, their no line of sight shooting is undercosted.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm optimistic that the way the game will play will still be, fun for the majority of your games, but there's going to be that one game. There's going to be that one game you walk up to the table and you're looking at the like 20 Basilisk chassis guard player, and you're like, okay,
and then you're just kind of sad.
We're kind of sad, or they're kind of sad.
Filled with rage, filled with
Actually,
apocalyptic
both.
rage, furious, bloodthirsty, wondering where is this feeling coming from. We haven't talked about World Eaters yet. We have an entire chaos faction. We haven't talked about it. That explains why I'm sitting here covered in blood, furious at everyone. Let's stop messing around here with these boring normie Marines and get to the fun ones.
Oh, those are expensive.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just skip past every other faction here. All of these factions suck.
Before we get to World Eaters, let's just quickly catch up with a few comments.
World Eaters time.
Paul, again, I understand Death Guard players are sad. Again, the points are a bit of a saving grace. You'll still be able to have some enjoyable games.
Yeah, I thought the points were going to be way worse than this. And honestly, Plague Marines at 100 means your faction is a reasonable faction. Like, seriously.
Yeah. Chief saying thought that's Seductor Squad for a second. No, I'm sorry, that's Demonettes, but we are close. Jason,
how do we feel about the Chaos Primarchs?
Yeah. Hold up, let me quickly see here.
Okay.
Tyler is worried we're going to repeat the cycle from previous editions where vehicles are tanky, we ramp up lethality, and then things aren't tanky again. I think there's probably some truth, but we'll worry about that when we get to that. Right now,
I don't even think I don't think on the outset things are not tanky. I think things are not tanky on the outset of this game. I've done a lot of the math of some of these units, and I'm like, I think deadliness has not gone down. I think it's just become sequestered to more specific units, but those more specific units have become more deadly. So
it's a new addition. I do think we have to cut GW a tiny bit of slack. Again, I don't want to be giving them, mistakes, hard to forgive. But again, new addition, they can't balance every unit. And if the lethality is concentrated to a few units that can be targeted and nerfed, the game, like literally every unit doing like 10% too much damage, that's actually fine.
I want to push back on the idea that things being lethal is bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's important that you have pieces that do things. Yeah. That's not at all my criticism. My criticism is of the uninteractability of no line of sight shooting and the uninteractability of defense mechanics that are like you can't be shot. Those are where my criticisms lie.
Also,
I'm
as
fine
a note,
with the addition being deadly.
The lethality. This is something that I have noticed, and I think this is something that was very, very intentional. Lethality seems to be more focused around units are very, very lethal into certain targets. There's a lot less things that are just generically lethal into everything.
Okay, very fair. Yeah. I will say, having played the game now, 4 games now.
Yeah.
Like the average unit versus average unit you will feel significantly more durable. Like things like when like just 2 random units of like power armor bodies touch, less stuff dies than you're used to. Okay, there's still the big issue of combos out and about that are just way too killy. But again, if your average unit is average unit, less dies than 9th edition. That can't be understated.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the note of things dying, Angron at 415. He is the most expensive of the Chaos Primarchs. I ask why.
Also, to answer your question about also Tellable asks, how do we feel about the Chaos Primarchs? Angron, I don't like. Magnus, I think, is incredible. Mortarion, I think, is very, very reasonable.
So I will say, points agnostic. I think all 3 are pretty good with points taken. So here's the thing. Angron, I think they priced in the resurrection capability.
Yes, 100%.
which makes it swingy though. Like say you keep spiking those
But it's
sixes,
super
and
swingy.
turn
Yeah.
back, he could be 800 points and still worth it. So it's very swingy. And I will say though, so I think a general thing is World Eaters are a little less killing to vehicles than they used to be. Angron's now your premier vehicle cheek clapper. Makes a lot of sense.
Also, the Demon Prince with wings and the Berserker Glaive.
Yeah, the Demon Princes for World Eaters are
that wipes out everything.
One of the better ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other thing I wanted to mention, and you'll bully me, fine. World Eaters Forge Fiend, I still love the Forge Fiend. And even to a weird degree, I like their Hellbrute. I like the World Eaters Hellbrute.
It's actually not bad.
I agree. Yeah. 150 is fine for that Hellbrute.
Yeah, I think he's totally fine. He gives you a little bit of anti. 150 is the right price for him. I could see it being a little bit cheaper, and I'd be even happier. But if it was if he was like 130, I'd spam.
So let me see what Mauler Fiends and Forge Fiends do. We'll see.
I don't understand why 215. Why the Helldrake is 215. That's silly.
You have to pay for the coolness.
World Eaters, Forge Fiends, and Mauler Fiends are overcosted compared to the other CSM ones because they cost more. Well, for example, not more than CSM. CSM Forge Fiends are the most expensive at 165, but they are by far the best. Thousand Suns Forge Fiends at 130. They're special rules, whatever, but at 130, they're an absolute bargain for the guns.
They're solid. Yeah.
World Eaters Forge Fiends have a pretty useless rule. I mean, it's not great, but like costing 150, it's too much.
Yeah. Now, Mauler Fiends are interesting.
We're spicy. So I will say, again, they get the faction rule, so they have the best faction.
The faction rule is super good. That faction, like the world, I will say, the World Eaters faction rule is, I think, the best faction rule in the game.
What is the faction rule?
Maybe Eldar beat it.
What is the faction rule?
It's what the Warphammer Discord has been calling Murder Yahtzee.
Murder Yahtzee.
The blood pool, yeah.
Actually, let me quickly see if we can drop a link to the Discord in the chat right now, because I love the energy from people here. I want to make sure they're all able to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ask questions later. Got some smart comments. I want to hear what people are thinking, what kind of list ideas they have later once they have more time to think. So jump in the Discord. I can say this without bias, although I probably am biased. I really do think it's the best place to discuss competitive 40K, especially from a chaos perspective. Out there, in terms of people actually give really great feedback, really intelligent comments, but also it's a very friendly place. There's no elitists, no people talking down to you. Hop on in, chat with us. Let's all have a good time.
There's this fantastic thing that happened.
Look at the Smaller Fiend. 10-inch move, you get +2 move. You get advance in charge. And then he can also get like sustained. You could also give him like sustained hits. You're looking at 7 attacks on 3, strength 15, which is actually a really important breakpoint. AP2, D6 +1. That's just really good.
So AP2 is a killer, but again, 175. 175 is a lot for that chassis.
Smaller Fiend's not
again,
175.
Maybe I'm biased because Thousand Suns pay 130 for that chassis.
Oh, it is 175. Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, the fact World Eaters Mauler Fiend would be the best if they were all the same, but the fact that it pays way more.
I want to mention
is still cheap.
I mean, plus advanced in charge with +2 to charge, can get additional +2. Yeah, I mean, hold on, the World Eaters Mauler Fiend is something I'm going to try out because I think it's pricey.
I want to mention
it's pricey,
something.
but it's fast.
You know what's a pretty cheap and efficient use of points? 10 Berserkers with Karn. 10 Berserkers with Karn the Betrayer.
Berserkers 115, Karn 95.
Berserkers are priced at exactly where I thought they should be.
210?
Yep.
Okay, where's Karn?
Berserkers are well costed.
Karn
Berserkers are reasonable.
Karn has fight on death. Karn has 1 million attacks. Karn does a lot of damage.
The thing is that you just take the master executions to give the unit fights first, and that just seems much better.
So we've talked about this a little bit in that I think that the master of executions, there's an interesting thing here. The master of executions gives you fight first, which if you think about it is somewhat of a survivability trait in that it lets you get your value before they get their value, or it changes the order of activations, etc. I don't think you care about that with Karn's unit as much, because if they die, he still gets to fight on death. You just lose the Berserker.
That is true.
Yeah, it's also rural ones to hidden wound. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So if you're on the charge, if you're the guy who's charging in and doing the damage, you'd rather have Karn than you would a Master of Executions. And the thing about Karn is Karn can actually just go on special murder safaris. Like, his profile is good enough to do that. And the Berserkers are just a vessel by which, like, he's carried. They are his extra wound count. I think he's fantastic and super points efficient, super scale. Like a Rhino with Karn and 5 Berserkers in it, people in their pants, you know?
Sure. I mean, at the same time, I love the Master Executions datasheet because there's a lot of, I think you see a lot of character combos.
Yeah.
Also, like, a Land Raider fits 2 units of Zerkers, 2 Zerk units, which is really good.
Well, we spend a lot of time talking about Berserkers, and I agree Berserkers are incredible, great character options. Let's talk 8-bound, because I'm looking at these 8-bound numbers, and they feel very high.
Don't they have like 10 attacks each, though?
So, actually, I'll pull up the data sheet right now.
No, they don't. They get, so a base 8-bound gets 5 attacks with a bonus.
Yeah.
7 attacks.
Again.
No. Yeah,
they're
7
good,
attacks.
Way faster. Way faster than they used to be.
They do have wound rerolls if they target below half strength. Reroll 1s to wound is just good.
They get like a pregame move or something still, or like a scout move or something like that.
Yeah, Invicata still gives that.
No, so he 8-bound scout 8 inches, exalted 8-bound, no scout innately, but yeah, they can scout with Invocatus.
Yeah. Yes,
I think they're still fine.
So I do love, by the way, exalted 8-bound, making you take leadership tests to fall back. I think that's still a great role, especially because again, vehicles can be shot in combat. But infantry, mixed in with infantry, still can't be shot on the whole. Going up to 5 up, feel no pain. I think exalted 8-bound is definitely the way to go over normal 8-bound based on these.
Winged Demon Prince is so terrifying.
100%.
Agreed. The demon princes that they have are the best demon princes, I think. Maybe it's kind of close depending on how you build them out, but yeah, they're the best demon princes.
One is the best bargain at 170 with such great utility, but yeah, it depends what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're very expensive, but they're very good.
Yes.
So,
World Leaders Terminators at 195. Again, Terminators seem decent point price. I don't mind World Leaders Terminators actually. I think they're
195 for how killer they are. Hold up.
They touch something and it implodes, and then the fact that they might be able to be around for a turn after that is pretty cool. So
World Leaders Terminators and a Land Raider, I think that's unironically pretty good.
Me too. I agree. And it also, Land Raiders are one of those ones that you that Land Raiders have anti-armor that you can't really get otherwise.
Yep. Yeah, because so looking at it,
phase.
Yeah, it's actually really nice because what you can do, you can have 3 Power Fists, 1 Chain Fist, 1 paired Accursed Weapons, and then you also get the Reaper Autocannon.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just good.
Yeah. No, adding 1 to the hit rolls if the unit's lost a model, I think that's pretty good.
It actually means that you kind of want a big unit.
Put the Blood Boys in the Blood Bus.
I'm going to run 10 and hope they shoot a Manticore. I'm in cover, I lose 1 or 2, and then we just kill everything the rest of the game.
Yeah, and then it's like legitimately you can't actually shoot them because if you shoot them, they get better.
Yeah, and also notice, by the way, it's attack, so it's actually its guns can even get +1 to wound.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're costed decently. One of the most durable things, you also get the Feel No Pain. They can also scout if you need. Yeah, I'm definitely into World Leaders Terminators.
Yeah,
they're
I'm
not
a big fan of them.
Unit, I think they're very solid. How do you all feel about the Jackals? Coming in at 75 is a bit pricey for chaff, but durability. I don't know.
I don't like them that much. 6 up Sig, 6 up Feel No Pain. They're not very durable.
They're not. There's too much indirect for them probably, but in a different meta, I think they're pretty good.
I think there's too much indirect. Well, okay, the sticky objective does help with the indirect problem.
Does help, and also because the issue is you want to start Berserkers and Rhinos, so it means you need some icons to start on the board for the blessings bonus. So that's actually taking the Jackals. I will say,
I can see 1 unit or 2.
People are talking about this meme list with like 1 million jackals with a foot demon prince giving them the 4-up invuln and a 5-up feel no pain from the blessings.
Oh yeah.
That list is complete garbage. Don't waste your time. Don't buy all those jackals because you heard online that it's good. That list is literally unplayable garbage and
It's really bad.
not the fun world of experience. Please do not run out and go buy like 200 jackals to run this meme list you heard is amazing online.
Because the problem is you do that and then you just don't kill anything.
Yeah, you just don't kill anything. You can get out OC'd.
Yep.
And blast guns are way too good these days. Artillery is way too good these days.
Yeah, because
if the demon prince dies, your army evaporates, and even if he somehow stays alive, your army just evaporates slower.
Because remember, 20 jackals, and that's +4 on blast.
Yes, so each desolator is
that's
average of
really unpleasant.
Yeah, that seems very bad.
Yeah, but it's funny. And funniness sometimes outweighs like the laws of the game.
Sure. If we came up with a list where like, hey, this would be a cute thing you can do, that's one thing. I've heard people actually talking about it as like a good list that they're going to run, and I'm begging people not to go out.
But you
don't
can't
do that.
listen. You can't listen to the majority of people online because they tell you that guards suck and not realize that Plague Marines are 100 points for a full unit. So
now I will say, what you could do is you could do a demon prince with like 1 or 2 units of jackals that get the 4-up invuln. That's not bad as an objective holder.
So you've got the foot demon prince is 220. I just think you lose way too much taking a foot demon prince over a wing demon prince in world leaders.
Correct. Yeah. Maybe.
We're talking about like, have a sea of berserkers with a 4-up invuln. Okay, cool. That's also garbage.
Yeah, so but the berserkers don't want to be there.
Exactly. It's just that's not how the army functions. It's not like this list of stuff walking up the board.
The one thing that does walk up the board is Terminators, but guess what they already have?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the foot demon prince. People say he's really good because of the 4-up invuln. I think he's actually one of the biggest trap units in the game.
I see that.
If you never demon prince and world leaders, you'll be much better off. But I will say, I think their chaos spawn being really cheap is also very cool because Thousand Suns and World Leader have like 15-point cheaper spawn than everyone else. I think that's valuable.
Nice. Thousand Suns look so cracked, man. I love Thousand Suns.
Real quick.
What's up?
What's up?
We've touched on all the chaos factions now, right? We haven't missed
one. Yes.
What's up, Walls?
I was just doing a quick purview of some of the other stuff rolling around. I did want to mention a couple of notable things with Tau. I think they're going to be one of the more powerful factions based off of these things. So Riptides are...
Oh, my dream is dead.
Yeah, Riptides are at 230. Super cheap. Their shield drones are free across everything. So every suit squad's getting 2 extra wounds on there. And a lot of the things like that seemed pretty good datasheet wise got pretty low costed points. I'm not a Tau player. I don't really want to talk about Tau. I don't like Tau. I haven't lost Tau even with their new book. I haven't lost Tau in like an edition, like a whole edition. And I want to keep that going in this edition. It's going to be hard with these points. So mostly out of luck, but it's going to be hard with these points. So one thing to keep in mind when you're going into it is, Riptides are good, but Riptides also, I think the response to a lot of what Tau do is similar to this response of how you're going to handle other heavy armor lists and other indirect lists. So it's not super unique. You don't have to tech for Tau, I don't think, as much.
That's fair.
Genestealer Colts, I wanted to do a quick look at with you guys.
Sure.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I want to actually talk about them because they're very unique in the game and they are a true Horde faction. They're probably the only true Horde faction GW has allowed to exist in this edition.
Yeah, let's see.
That's a very good point.
So let's take a look at them real quick.
I'm seeing the chat. Let's see here. Nugget Knight talking about Jackals can be a 4-up invul and 5-up feel no pain. Please, Nugget.
We went over it.
They can have a 4-up invul if you bring a 220-point unit to babysit them. Then they can have a 4-up invul. Please.
Genestealer Colts. So, what are we looking at? Pure Strain Genestealers are super cheap. I like that. Okay, Aberrant's kind of expensive. Neophytes, reasonable.
Acolytes at 150 for 10 is a little bit expensive, but I'm
It's a
assuming,
little
with
expensive.
free war gear means you're going to have some drill stuff,
Yeah.
and then they recur, which is good.
Mhm.
Hybrids at 80 is
Hybrids
interesting.
at 80 is not bad. You can just like take a lot of hybrids.
Oh wow, Sanctus is only 50 points. Crazy.
Mhm.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Sanctus is actually kind of a Chad.
Also, Patriarch at 85 and Pure Strains at 180. That's just like a thing you can do. And then you can legitimately just take 30 Pure Strains and then still do everything else.
I think that's the intention too, is that you're taking a lot of Pure Strains now. Yeah, Sanctus can do sniper rifle and boop your snoot of one of your characters. He can also take the dagger and go sicko mode and like blare like Travis Scott music on like shitty speakers while he does 360 no scopes with his dagger through the rest of your units. Which for 50 points, like the fact that he can do that and then he's also a dude running around is like pretty good.
Also, Jackal Office at 60 is really cheap. So there's a combo. I don't know if you guys have seen the combo.
What's the combo?
Where you take a Jackal Office with Prowling Adjutant and 10 bikes. You then go ahead, stick all those together, and just start running them toward. So you run them towards something. They're really fast. You get within 6 inches. You roll 11 dice. Do a ton of mortal wounds. 4 ups are mortals. You then Jackal allows you to then normal move. You normal move. At the end of your normal move, you do 11 more dice for mortal wounds on 4 ups.
Oh wow!
At the end of their turn, 11 mortal wounds. Also, with Prowling Adjutant, if they end a move within 9 inches of you, guess what? You get to move again and do another dice of mortals.
Wait, you get a full normal move if they end within 9?
It's only 6 inch.
6 inch, gotcha. But still, that's super good.
But
wow,
it procs the mortals.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's a big issue.
They were supposed to bomb you and then say so long to you, but instead they like bomb you and then they just keep bombing you.
Yeah. Like here, let me show you this. Legitimately, if you look at the Genestealer code data sheets, that's just really, really good. Like,
Ridge Runners are also, I would like to say, pretty
really
decent
strong.
at 150 for 2.
Yeah, Jackal's just, you select a unit within 6 inches of them, roll a d6 for every model in the unit, every 4 up they take a mortal.
Yeah.
It's just, and then you also get to shoot.
By the way, a unit I think is unironically good is the Saboteur. Now I know there was a bit of a meme previously.
No line of sight, explodey bomb. Woo!
Yeah, it's kind of like a changeling that you also can't like move on to the objective to take away from either. Or you just take a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
I think a lot of these little characters are going to be running.
Yeah.
Or whatever are pretty good.
Are going to be an absolute nightmare to play against. I can tell you right now. Between the res, of course, there's a lot of really great tricks.
You're like, what is your list? And then they pull out an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to just go back to Jackals again because it's so busted. Like, they scout 9 inches.
Sure.
And that you can do. So, Jackal Alphys is not an epic hero. So, what that means, I can do 30 Atlan Jackals, all with Alphyses. Jackal Alphys. And then on my turn, I do turn 1, I move up 23 inches. I then do, if I'm within anything within 6 inches, is going to take an average of 33 mortal wounds total.
Oh wow, that's when you put it like that. Wait, does the bomb? Is it one of those things where if like one bike in the unit is within 6, the whole unit can bomb, or does every model need to be within 6 like to bomb?
Yes, as long as the unit is within 6, they get all the bombs.
Oh wow! Oh no! Oh wow! Okay, that's a thing. That's cool. I guess we're just doing it this edition.
We'll do it live. I mean, that's a good response to...
Yeah.
That's a good
Pre-game move
response
9
to guard
inches.
players that want to hide in the corner, too.
Move 12 inches. If you're within 6 inches of me, you take 11 mortal wounds. I then shoot. I then do Jackal Office. I move another 9 inches, I think it is. And I do it all over again.
Oh, wow. So, I was like, you can avoid that playing 3 inches off the line because you're normally 24 inches apart. But then we get to move again and bomb again. Oh, wow. That's a huge issue.
You can avoid the first set of 15 mortal wounds. You can't avoid the second set.
And if they just come back and do it again if you kill them.
Well, and then also your
the Office doesn't come back. But
if you're staying off the line, if you're staying off the line because of the bikes, then you also are just like move blocked into your deployment because of your fear.
Yes. And then the Jackals will also double move block you.
And you ask your opponent, "Can you do that?" And they hand you like a moist piece of notebook paper where they wrote the whole combo out on there.
Yeah,
exactly.
So yeah, you don't deploy on the line against GSC because you will take 33 mortal wounds and you will be very sad.
I don't also not deploy on the line because then you just lose.
Yeah, because then you get move blocked.
So basically, just bring 40-point Nurglings to basically move block their pregame moves is the secret.
Correct.
Cool. Another reason, by the way, I know people have been dooming about OC0 Nurglings. I still think they're a super elite unit. You're just mandatory in any list that can take them. But that's a separate discussion. Kit, any other spicy GSC stuff we should know about? I think Aberrant's got a huge glow up.
Aberrant's got a huge glow up, yeah.
You think they're actually I think they can res, right?
Yes.
Which is, I mean, if you have a 4-up Feel No Pain unit that can also just resurrect, that's...
4-up Feel No Pain, resurrecting. And then... something that, minus what for the first time, they're also -1 to wound. The leader does not come back when they resurrect. It's worth noting.
Okay, that is good to know.
Yeah. But they're still very good.
I mean, 3 damage attacks.
I mean, 3 attacks on 3's 3 damage. That's just really good. And then 4 Feel No Pain.
Yeah, a lot of equivalents went to hidden on 4s now. So that's just, that's very powerful.
Now, I don't know if you can fit the Aberrants and the bikes. Because that's starting to get pricey.
Do you think 30 bikes is a real list, or do you just bring 1 unit? Like, how much investment would you put?
I think you definitely bring 1 unit. You might bring 3. It's a very real list.
So I would like to, because I have to go open the store soon.
Okay.
I got to get some rapid fire in here looking at Orks if we've got a chance.
I was going to say Orks.
Yeah.
Orks is a super elite army.
Orks before you finish on up? Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, because I looked at Adeptus Sororitas and I wasn't impressed, and I don't play that faction, so I kind of just moved on.
Yeah, I guess we're still here. If anyone has any comments for any other army requests, Kit and I can stick around after Wolf leaves.
Yeah.
We don't want to do armies people don't actually care about. So drop some thoughts. If you have a question about how to beat an army or something.
Battle Wagon is kind of expensive, actually. It's a little
Stompa doubled in points.
Stampa's 800. I saw that and I was very sad.
They hit X2 on that one. Ow.
Yeah. Not X2, it's 675 right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Storm
didn't go up
Boys,
that much.
65?
It did go up.
Pretty reasonable.
Actually, Beast Boss on Squigosaur 165. That's really low.
Yeah, that looks good to me as well.
I'm
just kind of looking. I'm looking at the previous lists that were popular and seeing if those units are cheap. So like Trucks, pretty cheap. That's obviously pretty good.
Meganob's cheap.
Squighog Boys went up, but they're still reasonable at that cost, it looks like.
Yeah.
Especially for what they do.
I like Meganobs. I want to talk about Meganobs. Because Meganobs with Ghazghkull is... Like, Ghazghkull gives them +1 to hit and wound, and they get devastating wounds when they charge. And it's a lot of attacks.
That does sound very good.
And Ghazghkull is not that expensive. He's only 235. Also,
Commandos.
Side note, Gorkanaut, that is really cheap.
Let's take a look.
295. Whoa, hold up.
295.
Nice.
Morkanaut also
Finally.
really cheap. 305.
Finally.
But
it has a 3-up save, so 2-up and cover. 12 T12 wounds for 295. That's actually pretty killy. Okay, hold up. Yeah.
Also, it can get +1 to hit with a mech.
Yeah, that's a very real thing.
Like, that's a very real thing. That is not even slightly a meme.
Oh, I'd also like to mention Burner Boys are really cheap at 65 points, and those are like the perfect thing to put in a truck. Just mentioning that.
Also really cheap is, I saw this, Ludas, really cheap, 55 for 5 of them.
Yep.
That's really cheap.
Commandos are weird now because before.
Oh, Wallace is gone. Yep.
Hello?
Hey, everybody.
Hi. So Commandos are weird. I mean, you're probably still including them, but they have to be in units of 10. It's odd.
Yeah. That's just slightly strange. Yeah.
Killicans at 150 seems fair. I was looking at them too. Where's the humble Killrig at today?
Killrig is 220.
Okay, that's a little up
fair.
Yeah. What is its profile?
Ludas are really good.
Tank Busta's kind of got the shaft, but
they got the shaft last edition too.
Yeah, they kind of got the shaft. Killrig. So I think the Killrig is basically like the same profile that it is now.
Oh, really? That's good then. 220 is fine.
It auto gets the D3 on its war tower now, which is really nice.
Okay, that's good.
And then it's Psychic phase, start of the fight phase, choose an Orks unit, and they get +1 strength, basically.
That is very
good. Which is just good.
The one very important thing to note, I've seen a combo going around on the internet.
Lethal hits it on a 6 only.
So listen, the Killrig is not a character. You can't give it the enhancement.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I thought about that, and then I realized it wasn't a character anymore.
Your Orcs opponent do that against you because no character keyword.
Yes. So yeah, that's a good thing.
Whoa, Captas are pretty cheap. Really good.
Badrock? Where is he?
Yeah.
Captain Badrock.
95.
95. Oh, that's actually cheap, yeah. Flash kits are kind of expensive.
Let's see here. Flash kits. Yeah, 95. 20 points a model. That is a bit pricey.
That's a bit expensive for what they do, unfortunately. Though with Badrock, it actually gets quite good, because Badrock gives them full hit rerolls.
That is nice.
And now that's actually a real unit. And you can shove that in a truck.
Yeah, no, that does sound good.
And trucks are dirt cheap. Like
Squeak Buggy is only 115. Yeah, that's or 110 for the Squeak Buggy. That's really good again.
No, but like truck at 50 points is dirt cheap.
Truck is super cheap. Yeah, I think you just bring a bunch and just like move more people with that.
I think that's one way that you can do it. Yeah. Also, yeah. Now there's some weird interactions with Firing Deck. Where so you don't get the Captain Badrock rules while you're in the truck, which is sad. But you can give a truck +1 to hit from a mech, and then it works with the Firing Deck.
Yeah, no, that is pretty hilarious. I do suspect an FAQ,
which is really funny.
In the meantime, go ahead and blast.
Yeah, in the meantime, do it. Also, just run 3 Beast Boss on Squoosaur and just meme on people, because that seems really good.
Quick comment from Tellable in the chat. He wants to use, or they want to use the Cursed Cultists. Dark Commune went down to 55 points. Are you lost in the sauce? No, I think the Dark Commune is actually legitimately good now. I think the Dark Commune with the Cursed Cultists, again, it's not like an amazing
this thing.
I think it's a legitimate competitive unit. Point costed well.
Dark Commune,
right?
Gives them a 5-up Fiona paint, 5-up Invuln. That's good.
Yeah,
and then really good once per game, advance and charge and +1 to hidden wound. Okay, that's real.
Yeah. So basically, a cursed cultist are only getting into combat once per game, where they basically charge onto an objective just to rise on there and die, or like defend an objective. The Dark Commune is honestly cooking with the cursed cultists.
And then 6 up Feel No Pain as well. That's not bad. Yeah. That's really not bad.
If you run that combo, you can feel really good about that. That's like the exact level of investment I'm willing to make into my cheap chaff. Is adding a 55 character that does a lot for them. Yeah. Cool.
Well, at that point, they're not cheap, but they're not chaff. So
yeah, it's kind of in betweeny. But again, 5-up invul and Feel No Pain on the 3-wound guys. And what I like about it when they have different profiles
is
whatever damage
I lost the points.
You can basically keep going back and forth. Not like every model, but like once a model dies, basically if they shoot like 3 damage to kill the big boys, you just take out your 1-wound guys. And then if they shoot 1 wound, just blast stuff, then you just take it on the 3-wound guys. Yeah, very versatile unit. Definitely some sauce there.
Yeah, I like it. And
Orks seem fine. They have a lot of data sheets, which means that there was a definitive chance that even if they were somehow bad, they would have 1 or 2 good data sheets just because of how many they have. That they would point something weirdly somewhere.
Yeah.
But what I'm looking at here is pretty much, I would say the majority of their data sheets are well tested. So I'm pretty up on Orks. I think there was a lot of doomerine. Really people were kind of doomering about Orks.
Yeah, that happens.
When their rules got revealed, but everybody does that a little bit. I think the points are fine. I think they're playable, for sure. So I'm
also
with them.
Gorkanaut's really cheap. That's a very real thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Let's see here. Cool. I think we're definitely kind of winding down towards the end of the stream. Any armies we haven't briefly touched on? I think Custodes are really well costed, but I think enough to say, actually. They're just
let's do a quick Custodes brief, a real fast one. A shotgun.
In the chat, asking how do you beat Eldar. I'm gonna be honest, we probably need more time to think about that and play test.
Yeah, I haven't figured that out yet.
We're gonna find stuff. I think use fight on death stuff.
I think the Be'lakor Slam Jam with the Greater Demons actually is a decent.
That actually might beat Eldar.
That it can beat Eldar. I don't think it's favored, but I think it can beat Eldar.
Yes, 3 birds. I think it's very strong into Eldar.
Yep.
Yeah, and you play the Space Jam theme, and they all ball up at them.
But yeah, I think we're winding down here. Custodies, and then probably we will finish up the stream.
I'm gonna dodge Sororitas because I don't care.
3,000 points of Custodes to pay them Shadowkeepers. I don't even care about Custodes points. They're about what you expect. Let's just move on.
I just wanted to mention
they're pretty reasonable,
thing, right?
Trajan is really cheap, which I like, but they're very reasonable. I think this is about what expected.
Virtus Praetors are too cheap. I think.
No, they're too. No, I think that's expensive actually. Because they're super fragile.
Remember, the gun's actually kind of garbage these days, so you basically just pay for the flyover and the movement. They're fine.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, two model units is not a thing we've really seen with them. Sure. I think that 180 for a Virtus Praetor squad is really cool because they do a lot of damage and they're really point efficient, and at a 2-man squad, I mean, it's really buying time for the rest of your stuff, and it'll out skirmish almost any other fast skirmish unit people bring.
Again, we're not saying they're bad. We're not saying they're great. They're just, it's a unit. You're allowed to take it.
They're a decent unit. They're a bit more fragile than most other Custodes is the big problem with them.
Because no one cares about Custodes. Again, I own 3,000.
Mike, you own Custodes, okay? Nobody cares about Sororitas, but Custodes are going to be at every table. That's why we care about
Custodes. People do care about Necrons.
I put my neck out. I put Necrons in A tier in my tier list. I want to see if it's justified. So let's jump down to Necrons and just see. That's the final army we're going to touch on. Unless we have
sounds good.
Drukhari people in the chat.
Nah, honestly, I kind of don't care about Sororitas or Drukhari.
I take a look at Drukhari. Talos is cheap. Everything else is good.
No offense. We don't say that they're boring. We got fun with them. We just personally are not invested in them.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of them. Okay, Silent King is really expensive. That's unfortunate. Most of their big models are expensive, but that's fine because their big models are really good.
Under 100 points. Oh, that's really
good. Lich Guard are cheap. Ooh, that's good. That's really good.
The
how much are
obelisk at
warriors?
325. Let's go, baby. Obelisk time.
Obelisk not even bad. Monolith also good. 385 is expensive, but it's worth it, I think, honestly.
Arc, 425, but Tesseract Arc is really strong. I think 425 is fair.
425 is fair.
Yeah, sounds right.
Tesseract Vault at 425. That's probably fair considering it is like those rules are nutty.
Well, the Technomancers at 60, that's huge for the faction.
That's really cheap. Yeah.
That's huge. That unlocks a lot of durability.
Chronomancer at 50 also really good.
Yeah.
And then Warriors 12 points a model is just frankly reasonable. It's not super cheap. It's not super expensive.
Necron Warrior is cheaper than a Scutari Ranger. Let's just.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
that's really funny.
A Trarch Stalker is 120. They're good. I like Trarch Stalkers. I think they're totally fine. Chronomancer at 50. Oh, that's super spicy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Katana still very reasonable.
The Wraiths and the Ophidians are both at 110. Both of them are really good.
Ophidians are so good.
Fast. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good for Necrons.
Doomsday Arc at 185 is actually very reasonable.
Yeah.
I love these Satan shards. These costs are fantastic.
Those are cheap. Yeah.
Those are super good, man.
Those are super
good.
Where's
our Plasmo dude? I liked his rules. I like his rules update.
The Plasmancer? He's right here. 55 points, baby.
Oh, at 55. Yeah. You can, legitimately, you can bring multiple teams really.
Yeah.
I think Fade ones are huge for them too, because 70 points for an infiltrating unit that can skirmish very well. I think that's really good.
Also, Death Marks at 65 is just randomly good.
Oh, that's really good. Especially with rapid ingress and stuff these days. That is really good.
Necrons are pointed right. That's good. That's good to see. Yeah. I think they'll be very they'll be very powerful based on this. I'm already building a list in my head, and I'm like, man, I'm getting so much stuff.
Yeah, Necrons seem good.
I think you go Warriors with Technomancers are kind of the core, because that's just a very efficiently costed core, and you build around that.
I think you can have 2 or 3 big vehicles as well, which is really nice.
Oh, for sure.
You could even do 3 Satan, really Star God them to death.
Yeah,
you could. And the Tesseract Vault also just really good.
Yeah, it has some amazing matchups. I think the only whiff I'm looking at the points is Treyarch Praetorians. I remember looking at the datasheet and thinking it was really bad compared to Lich Guard, and at 135 you're just never going to see them.
Yeah.
Which is because they're awesome. Awesome lore, awesome model.
But Deathmark's 65 points is really
that's
cheap.
Cooking. Yeah, that's super cheap. Weirdly cheap.
Yeah. That almost is cheap enough that it's is that a typo? I guess not.
Well, don't point that out so they don't actually double check the 85 points on the
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So final thing. No more looking at points. Everyone just name one unit we're super hyped for based on points, and one unit we're really disappointed by from a faction we play.
Hyped on Be'lakor. Really hyped for Be'lakor. Disappointed by Screamer Killer.
Screamer Killer, super fair. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Hyped on Be'lakor. Disappointed on also Be'lakor. I'm so give 325. It ruins my mind. I can't understand.
Disappointed because
include him now.
Yeah,
I can't choose not to include him. They've just decided for me. They said, "Sorry, King. You actually build 160 or 1,675 point lists now, and you're gonna like it." And that's what I was told.
Honestly, at 325, that's cheap enough. You kind of just bring him with no synergy in a random other chaos list sometimes.
It's just good. Yeah.
He can't be shot. He's fast enough to clean out your own backfield. Cool. So in terms of my favorite would be probably the Mutalith.
Yep.
1,000 Suns points are absolutely cooking. Top tier rules, top tier points. I can honestly name 10,000 Suns. CSM also same thing. Top tier rules, top tier points. My biggest disappointment would be
Blight Lords.
Plague Burst Crawlers at 175. I was really happy, but Death Guard have enough other stuff to make it up.
Mutalith, I don't play Thousand Suns, and so it's not something I'm hyped for. It's something that I am just have raw terror about.
Yeah, I have 2 unbuilt. My only regret is not buying 3.
Yep.
But yeah, on that note,
All right. I appreciate everyone for coming.
Here with us.
Yeah.
We were up to like 60 at the height. We still have a lot.
Yeah, we got to like 60 viewers. Hell yeah.
We've been talking for a long time. It's one of those things where I think the enthusiasm of other fans, especially cast fans, keeps us going in this hobby. So big shout out to all of y'all, all of our friends from the Nids Discord, from the Warhammer Discord. Before you go, as we're wrapping up, why not hit subscribe? Make sure you can catch some of this great content we have coming up in 10th edition, articles, videos. On that note, hope you have an amazing rest of the day. Good luck with the theory crafting, and look forward to seeing you in the Warphammer Discord.
Bye, bye.
Bye, everyone. You're all amazing.
And the stream is over.